Welcome back, Trash and Talk. I'm Wayne. This is Kurt.
What's up, people?
We're back at it again. This week on this episode, we have the CEO and owner of Nobody Cares Sport Network from Staten Island, New York, Dan Chanod. And he came in and sat with us and explained how he got into this field and how he started this business and just how you do the whole media thing while you're doing sports.
Building something from nothing in sports. Every guy's dream.
Every guy's dream. All right, y'all. Let's talk trash.
Peace.
We got the trash. We got the trash. Yeah, we got the trash. We got the trash. Our trash is your treasure. We got the trash. We got the trash. The Raccoon Kings are your treasure. So listen to our trash. So we listen to our trash.
All right, welcome back, Trash and Talk. Today we welcome in Dan Chanod, CEO, owner of Nobody Cares Sports Network. Welcome, Dan.
This is a better greeting than my dog gives me when I come in the house. So I'm really pumped with the hospitality, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
No. We welcome you in.
Thank you.
We've spoken in the past about getting on here and bringing, your whole sports thing, the media thing out, and honestly, more so to get people to understand that maybe it's something they could do down the road on their own and put the time in.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted you to come on and just, we'll talk about what you do.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, with my brother was the reference on this one. My brother Flip, and he was like, you gotta jump on Wayne's podcast. And, I think when your brother tells you to do something, you don't ask for a lot of pre-rec on something, so he's like, you got to go on Wayne's podcast. I was like, good enough for me. And then you're like, I'm 20 minutes from your crib. I was like, also good enough. I didn't check anything. I don't know anything about your pod. What I see the sanitation truck, it's piquing my autism, right? Because I'm like, can we just play with that toy right now? What's going on?
No, so we started this. So I don't know if you know, I was on Theo Von's podcast 2 years ago.
That's cool.
A buddy of mine, John D'Agostino, had heard him on a podcast saying that he wanted to interview a sanitation worker from New York City.
Okay.
So, mind you, I didn't hear him say it. My buddy heard him. He sent my information in and said, hey, listen, I'm sorry. This is what I did.
Yeah.
The kid always gets me in trouble, one way or the other, right?
Got to sign you up for something. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just behind my back, didn't tell me, sign me up for this shit. And it worked out. They picked me, flew me out. It was awesome. But you get feedback on the video. I mean, right now it's up to 4.4 million views.
Right.
And so much of the 5,000 comments were so positive and were like, this, I could listen to this dude talk all day. So it put it in my head to maybe I should get into this. It's just for fun. Let's see where it goes. Me and Kurt worked together on sanitation. We both did our 20 years and ran out of there.
Both retired.
Both retired.
All right, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And it was just hey, let's shits and giggles.
Right.
And we were talking before we started recording, it's you start with basics normally. But because I was now I'm friends with their producers from Theo Von's, they were like, listen, start at the top, learn the top stuff, learn these mics, learn this setup. And
absolutely.
Why start lower and then 2 months later call me and say, hey, my cameras are terrible, my mics are terrible. And you probably have this same thing with your setup with your sports.
Well, it's
media.
if you want to start a podcast, right? You're like, well, what did Theo Von have? Why would I look at all that stuff and then come back and buy stuff on Timo? It doesn't make any sense, right?
Exactly what we did.
Yeah, set yourself up for success and then roll back if you have to, right?
And that's kind of what happened. It was funny enough. The first day we were filming, Theo had called me back. We speak here and there, and we happened to be down here in the studio, and we were about to start hitting record. And next thing you know, he's like, "Wait, you're doing video and audio?" He's like, dude, you guys are way ahead where I started. I started in a closet at my house just with audio.
Yeah.
He's like, I did that for a year and a half before I got to videoing. So that's where it all started from. We normally have guys come on, talk about the job, just fun stuff that we did on the job.
Yeah.
Because the job was amazing.
Would you,
and
even though you ran out of the sanitation gig, would you say that, looking back, was one of the best jobs that you guys could have?
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, because you know how they say jobs change, and I know when I was growing up and you were growing up, we all grew up with this mentality that city jobs were
the job definitely changed.
You know what I mean? That was the job you wanted.
Yeah, it changed, but you still can't get nearly. Listen, no burning building, no getting shot at.
100%.
Right?
Huge.
Well, we did get shot at one night.
Yeah,
well, we got shot at one night with a BB gun.
One time. Yeah, no big deal.
20 years, one time. What do you do?
But if you look at it, it snows, it's cold, right? The money the overtime might not be as prevalent right now because whatever's going on in the city, but the money is there. It's a little bit longer of a pension now than when we got on. It's 22 and a half years. Some of the money isn't as pensionable, but it's still a solid job where you could make $120,000 a year. And
with your eyes closed,
and then and then get out
without the stress of I hate my job.
Exactly.
There's so many people out there got to grind for that 120, and they're like dreading going to work the next day.
They hate it. Like
so personally, it's nice to love the people you work with if you don't necessarily love exactly what you're doing, kind of deal. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and it was fun. We talk about it all the time. It was like living in a frat house.
It was in a frat house.
It was nuts, Dan. Dan, absolutely nuts.
That's crazy, right?
Ball breaking all day. You're out in the street. Nobody's really watching you. You're just picking garbage up. You get a route
as long as you pick the garbage up, nobody's really gonna press you much. Right?
Nothing.
Yeah. The hardest part of that job
is lifting the shit.
Waking up in the morning, getting
getting there.
Honestly, what was this shit? 6 a.m. start?
6 to 2.
That's not fun.
No, but your body will get used to it.
Your body gets used to it. How long did it take for a human being to get used to waking up at like 4:30 or 5 a.m. to do that?
It took a good year and change.
Yeah,
there were a few days where I woke up a little late. I was like, fuck. And I had to call somebody, hey, I'm going to be a few minutes late. Because there were, especially
start the truck for me, eh?
Exactly.
Like, leave it running.
On the route.
Yeah.
I'll meet you on the route.
I'll meet you on the route.
Which would happen.
Which
would happen. Good.
Which would happen.
There were plenty of times where it was like, yo, do me a favor. I'll call Kurt. Yo, listen, I'm late. I'll meet you physically on the route. Sign me in.
Amazing.
And we did it.
Yeah.
And listen, did we get away with it?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, that was a big thing. My buddy works up in Midtown or on the garage on the west side in Manhattan. It was like
probably your old garage.
It went from like an old garage to like a state of the art garage.
What's his name?
Fertitta? Jimmy?
I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Probably your garage, your old garage.
Yeah, they moved the garage around.
He was just New York, back in the day, he was like, everything was sign in, and then it turned into like, hey, so you went to take a piss on the camera there. And he was like, well, what are you watching that for?
Well, the way the job evolved.
Yeah.
So when we first came on, there was no GPS.
Oh, all right.
Right. So say you had downtime.
Oh, they can watch your truck?
Now they can watch your truck.
Oh, that sucks.
So now they know every movie. They know the direction of, not only can they watch it, they know your direction. So if years ago I would, wing two, we've done it. Head down a one-way street the wrong way and then come back up the right way.
Right.
Do one side down the wrong way. Now those
shaves your whole route in half, basically.
So
100%.
now the computer will show, wait a minute, it's traveling north. It's supposed to be traveling south on that block. Or east or west, or whatever the case may be. So that's how the job evolved.
Yeah.
You're wide-eyed here, like,
So
you witnessed the universe be created.
It changed on all watch. It changed on all watch.
Yeah, because that's even and the kid that got hired the day after that was implemented, it's like looking at him like, you don't even know what you just missed.
You don't know what you're in for. Yeah. What was there.
Yeah.
Even when we came on, there was the guys before us,
right,
say 10 years before us, there was no drug test. There was no CDL license.
Yeah.
They were partying.
They would do whatever they wanted. There was no drug test unless you
got into a crash and
it had to be a bad.
Well, you'd have to do something significant to dent one of these,
100%.
So what's the tons on a truck?
Loaded, probably 70,000 pounds.
Yeah, so probably 35 tons.
Yeah, you have to do
the truck itself about 20.
On its own, nothing in it is about 20.
Yeah,
that's wildly impressive.
Probably a little less, but I'm not going to guarantee. And then you're putting 10 to 15 on it.
You can nick something and that thing you nicked is crushed, but the truck is fine.
To be honest, that was always an issue with the people in the city.
Yeah.
Like homeowners.
Okay.
Like they'll come out and be like, oh, you scratched my car.
Okay.
And I'll tell them, listen.
There's no way my truck did that little scratch.
This truck does not make scratches.
Yeah, that's good.
I will can open your entire car.
That's amazing.
Plenty of conversations like that. So go on your cameras, figure it out, because it wasn't me.
There had to have been though, like, hey buddy, you can't open my car this morning. The guy's like, oh yeah, 100%.
That was me.
Like, that's me.
If there's a gate this wide in the metal and it's going
right.
and
it's got a white stripe after it.
It's a tough morning. Yeah, but that wouldn't even be considered a big accident enough to like have a look at that driver. That's just a tight turn.
Yeah, no.
I mean?
That's tight streets on Staten Island. We grew up with that. But that's the thing. Let's get into Dan Chanod.
Let's get. No, I appreciate you guys telling me.
We want to explain that to you. Yes,
I like to know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it comes down to.
He's the same one. I'm the wacky one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we go.
That remains to be seen. It's the quieter ones that I'm more worried about. I got to be honest with you.
So so what part of Staten Island are you originally from?
Yeah, my family, we grew up in what you would call Stapleton Heights, right? Not to be considered with straight Stapleton. There was a lot of like girls dating we're growing up with, like, they'd be like, you live in Stapleton? I can't date you. Like, no, it's not Stapleton. It's
not the one you're thinking
not
of.
what you're thinking of. Like, basically, like, that's a really beautiful historic part of the island.
Yes.
With like Victorian homes,
Oh, yeah,
like the hillsides and stuff. Like, when the streets are clean, it's like, well, this looks like San Francisco. And, so it's really like a dope part of town. But we would always try and kind of differentiate, like, hey, like, I guess it's the historical side of Stapleton, like the original side, because, like the projects down on Broad Street, those were put in like the 1950s, 1960s, right? So a lot of the other homes in that Stapleton area were all built in the 1800s, pre-1900, and then where those, project homes are on Broad Street, that was Thompson Stadium, the home of the Stapleton Stapes. So that was a pretty big stadium at the time, right? So it's really just one big historical neighborhood. That probably laid a pretty good foundation for like, love, history, sports, and all that stuff.
Yeah, now it's Park Hill. Shit, kapow.
It's like, but I think like, I was seeing something on Instagram the other day, like with the polo grounds up at like, that's projects now.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like the home plate or something is in a parking lot.
Yep.
And they're like, if you venture to Yankee Stadium, and it was like, and if you want to take a fun trip down the block, like walk these. And I was like, wait a second. There's got to be a massive PSA to the Instagram fans out there that just want to like casually stroll down 161st to go.
Be gentle.
Look where the original home plate is. Like, you're risking a lot.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, 100%. So, we see that a lot with places. But I grew up in Stapleton, and then now I live in Bull's Head, which is like in the middle of Staten Island.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, you're like Mid-Island.
It's really confusing because like Stapleton was like dissected by like Clifton, St. George, like all of these areas are like
intertwined. 8
blocks, and then what the next block is. Like turf wars almost growing up, like you certainly know where Rosebank is as you move down Bay Street. Bull's Head, I feel like the whole, as far as the eye can see, is Bull's Head. It's really confusing to me.
You don't know where it starts and where it ends.
Where does New Springville begin? I couldn't tell you, right? So like I went from like, I guess, knowing an identity to being just like confused.
That's how the North Shore was. Like Concord, my family's all from Concord, right?
Right.
So,
which is separate from Park Hill and Grasmere and all that stuff, and you
like
know
I
that.
was telling my girlfriend yesterday. It's funny because Concord, Rhine Avenue, where Concord High School was, right? That's the block my dad grew up on. My mom grew up on Concord Place, which is on Richmond Road, and right across from the old Wagner's Garage, which is there anymore.
Like Bottomley's Tavern.
You walk 5 minutes from Rhine Avenue. That's Park Hill.
Right.
Yep.
Not Concord. The Home Depot was literally 2-minute walk from Rhine Avenue.
But it was like a different.
It was a whole
everything.
It was a whole different.
100%. Yeah.
It was a whole different everything.
So that's why it's like, for me, I was like, I don't know. I almost feel like I was more cultured when I lived in Stapleton because now I'm in Bull's Head and I'm like, everything's just the same out here.
Yeah,
like
have
there's
an
nothing.
identity.
Yeah, but like I was like I couldn't understand. I feel better that I grew up where I grew up rather than to have grown up in the neighborhood I currently live in. I feel like all the houses look the same.
But do you think it's more because you were out in the streets more? Like when we were younger, we were on the street all day.
Well, the whole like street light thing, you come home when the street lights are on.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean anything. I mean, you have kids. Do you tell them come home when the street lights are on? Have you ever said that to them?
Dan.
So you've never said that to them?
No, because honestly,
I think I might have.
they don't even want to play outside. To get these kids outside is like a fight, man.
So I feel like that's almost like going to be a saying that goes by the wayside.
Oh,
you know,
that 100%.
So if you're not saying that to your kids in any scenario now,
it's just gonna
in 15 years, like the whole like my parents used to tell me to come home when the street like
yeah, it's gone.
Okay, Grandpa.
Just the difference between my kids and his kids.
Yeah.
So my kids were born 2000, 2004, 2007, right? Between the difference between my son that was born in 2000 and my daughter that was born in 2007, his whole life growing up was more of, there was no real iPad or he didn't have a phone like that.
Yeah, I got you.
Now you have 6-year-olds with a phone in their hand that they could blow up the world if they wanted. They could do anything with that thing.
It's crazy.
So the whole thing of them leaving, it's hard to get them to go outside. And I think it's harder here.
I kind of get crazy when I don't go outside, though.
Yeah,
I get like a little cabin fever.
That's how we grew up.
Yeah, exactly.
I get like a little pissed off and like rough around the edges. Like I gotta get out of this place. Like there's nothing wrong with the house.
And unfortunately, you don't even know the neighborhood.
No,
so you can't go for a stroll. You'll get
I'm
lost.
like, where can I get good pizza in this town? Everybody claims they got good pizza, and it all sucks. So
yeah, it's not the same.
It's not in Bull's Head. That's in Port Richmond. You know what I mean? It's yeah, I get it. Like, but like if I could spoil myself and go to Danino's every day.
Yeah.
But nobody lives life that way.
No.
You got to get in the car.
You have to go where like there's I went to Danino's last week with a buddy. Absolutely support local and all that. But like, it's just I'm not trying to shit on Bull's Head completely. Like, I go back, I'm gonna have to have the Chinese bookie start my car. Bookie, start this.
Yeah.
What high school did you go to growing up?
Curtis.
Yeah. Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis.
Nice school. My son's a teacher there now. He just his first year teaching.
It's an amazing school, dude.
He likes it.
It's like I think Curtis is intimidating from the outside looking in, like how it's chalked up from the outside looking in.
It always got a bad name.
Well, always.
For
it
no
doesn't
reason.
matter. But like when you get there, you're like, well, this is awesome.
This isn't what everybody made it out to be.
This isn't what everybody said it was going to be. And then like, you find I think a good crop of friends. I played football, so I started a little early. It's easier to make friends when you're
without a doubt, 100%
and all that stuff. But like, even being a teacher, it's just I think like you think I'm gonna run into trouble teaching kids at this school, and you get to this school, and you're like, this isn't trouble at all. Where there's other places where it's like, hey, it's gonna be a breeze. I'm like, get me out of here. There's no such thing as judge this book by its cover when it comes to schools and institutions until you're involved on the inside and see what it's like.
So
Curtis
he was a student teacher that last year, right?
Yeah.
So when he was getting, he was going, he absolutely loved it, right? So I go, where would you want to go if when you get hired by DOT? He's like, I want to go to Curtis. I want to teach here. I love it. And I was like, really? Then I step back and I look, and I'm like, first of all, that neighborhood is probably one of the prettiest neighborhoods when you go down those blocks.
So pretty, dude. Like those Victorian homes.
You feel like you're in a family area. Like you take Newdorp or Tottenville, it's in the middle. Tottenville's in the middle of nothing. Like
if I had to sit at the Newdorp Lane intersection 5 days a week,
I did that.
I wouldn't be here right now. I'm telling you, I don't know where I'd be, but it wouldn't be here right now.
You'd still be sitting there because the fucking traffic is absurd on that corner is the worst.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, it's like residential. And then they just do a good job, I think, with athletics, with teaching and everything. It's just a good school. There's a lot of great schools out there, but, talking about where I went, that's, we're it's different. Today, I feel like you look at, hey, buddy, where you want to go to high school? And it's like, I kind of want to go here because I saw this program. Okay, let's go to an open house. When I was a little kid, my dad went to Curtis. My brothers went to Curtis. I was going to Curtis. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I was told to love Curtis, and that's where I went, right?
Well, you were there all the time. They played, your brothers played sports there.
That's exactly right. Like, you're familiar with it or whatever. But today I think it's a little different. Some kids in the family go to, like, different high schools,
Yeah, exactly.
My kids went to 3 different high schools.
So,
my oldest went to Farrell.
Right.
My middle one went to Farrell, and he had to leave, went to Wagner.
Okay.
And my daughter went to Newdorp. Now, my kids all grew up in Great Kills, like below the Boulevard by the Marina Cafe. So now school's different than when we went. you could go to any high school.
There's no zoning.
There's no zoning.
Yeah,
anymore.
That's what I mean. Like you pick like an open house and you could just go where you want.
Exactly. So all three of my kids actually all did go to different high schools.
I would be like when I was a kid, my options were Curtis, McKee.
Yeah.
I don't think I could go to Port Richmond. And
No, we were too far away.
You could go to a private school, like you can go to Catholic school.
Yep.
But it would in 1998, it would have been unheard of for a North Shore Stapleton person to pay to go to St. Joseph C over St. Peter's.
And get on the train all day.
They would have been like, why aren't you going to Peter's? Like, it wouldn't even
Exactly.
be a conversation, right?
Yep.
So it's like, it was almost just based on where you lived. You were going to school at a certain location, and that was it.
That was it.
Now
It
it's
was locked in.
totally different. So, I mean, I think, like, now knowing what I know, if I could pick another school, I'd still do it all the same. I'd still go to Curtis.
Still go to
you know what
Curtis.
I mean? Yeah.
But shout out to Curtis.
Yeah, good
stuff.
people.
I know a lot of
over
people
there.
that went there, so
Yeah.
it's a good school. So is that where your love of sports began? Like, was it in younger or did it start in high
Well,
school?
let me just be clear. I didn't get into Nobody Cares because I love sports. all right?
Really?
This is a Mel Brooks production. This is the sports version of The Producers.
Okay.
This is I say like all the time, I'm like, I'm not professional. And you guys are like, come on, you're so professional. I'm like, okay, fine. Smoke and mirrors. You all don't look behind the curtain of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I did stand up for like 14 years.
Okay.
Headlined, would do like 45 minutes to an hour. So it was easy for me to work under pressure, remember funny shit and stuff like that. A guy that was like an aspiring talent manager was like, why don't you start a radio show? I was like, I don't want to do a radio show. He's like, oh, you're funny. It'll be funny. Like, I really don't want to do it. He's like, make it a sports show. I was like, I will only do it if we can call it Nobody Cares.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, oh, no, fuck it.
It's not going to work.
Nobody's going to. I was like, fuck it, cool. I don't want to do it anyway. Yeah. He was like, obviously, he had nothing else going on. So he was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, oh, my God. Fine, let's do it. And it was just like this stupid sports show that was on like every other week. And like 20% of it was local sports. But that 20% local sports, people were like fanatical.
That's
and I was like,
for you, though.
And I was like, well, do I want to be just another idiot talking about the Giants and Jets and get lost in the noise?
Okay.
Or do I want to focus on the 20% here? So then I was like, let's take this sports show and see if we can steal a broadcast and like do a live game. So like Curtis and Peters is a big deal on Thanksgiving Eve.
100%. Yeah. The island is watching.
Yeah. And it was like, this is like 7 years ago.
So that's when you started 7 years ago.
Yeah, like 7 years ago. Basically, like we had this show that had like a niche audience, and I thought like, let me try and put a game together. But nobody's gonna allow like me to broadcast a game. I'm not a syndicated network. I was like, so I called my dad. My dad was a savvy businessman. Like, shout out to the Commodore down there in Florida. You know,
yeah.
My brothers are savvy businessmen. They don't want to admit it, but the apple don't fall far from the tree. They must have learned something there, you know. And I was like, Dad, I want to get like a big game, but like it's a joke. Like, I'm not real. This is Nobody Cares. How do I sneak into like Thanksgiving Eve and broadcast Curtis and Peters? And he was like, oh, that's easy. You just got to...
That sounds like the Commodore I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, he just had a plan, right? He's like, oh, that's easy. He's like, you just got to call the president of the College of Staten Island and tell him that you're broadcasting a game. And I was like, and then what? He was like, and then you show up and you broadcast a game. And I was
That's it.
like,
So simple.
I was like, that's like oddly archaic. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it'll work. Because they won't know how to call your bluff. They won't have anybody to call.
Make it sound good.
I was like, all right. So I just called him up. He said, listen, I got to do a walkthrough. I'm broadcasting the game. I need to get in there 8 hours before. We're going to have to hook up to the internet and set up courtside. Who do I speak to like that maintains the site?
Really?
Yeah. The president was like, yeah, you're going to want to talk to, and I was like,
oh, really? It went like this. It worked.
What? The Commodore was right.
Commodore was right.
So I just like played it cool. It's like when you go and you're like, I demand to speak to the CEO. And they're like, he's actually free right now. And it's like, oh,
Here he
shit.
is. Yeah.
So then I showed up and like security didn't even want to let me in. I didn't even know who I was. Rightfully so. I was like, I'm broadcasting the game. So that's like, we just did that one time. And then afterwards I was like, all right, well, this guy that I'm working with doesn't know shit about anything. So we're going to stop doing the sports show and I'll turn this into a network on my own. And like, it was more supposed to be, let's put a camera where there's no cameras, you know?
All right.
Let's use this as a way to get a credit to create another project to sell that. That way they say, what are you from? And I say, Nobody Cares Sports Network, which is a farce.
Yep.
But it's just an online credit. So I'm looking at myself like, I just have to do like 6 broadcasts a year that generate enough traction to where I could use it for a credit to sell for another project off stand-up comedy, like comedy writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, let's get games where nobody's fighting over it because people are pissed I did that Thanksgiving Eve game. Like,
why were they pissed?
Well, it's because Staten Island, like, Live used to do the games, SI-76.
Mm-hmm.
The game, good old Nipper.
Yeah, a long time ago, right? And basically what happened was they got hit with, like, a cease and desist from the PSAL and said, listen, you guys can broadcast, but it's going to cost you about $100,000.
What?
And Staten Island 76 was like, we don't fucking have any money.
Yeah,
so all of a sudden, games stopped being broadcasted on TV. And that's why Nobody Cares was able to call CSI and say, hey, we're broadcasting the game. So it was like, what is the catch here? And they're like, well, you're broadcasting on television where you sell advertising.
Okay.
The league isn't profitizing off of the commercials that are airing during this game. So I was like, well, what if you broadcast for free? It's free to watch.
Now nobody's
then
making
what
money
happens? And they were like, well, there's no revenue share. There's no profit share. I'm like, yeah, it just exists. What happens if it just exists?
Yeah.
Like, we don't know. And I was like, well, I have no money and I'm willing to test the market.
Let's figure
it out. If they come after me, like, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, I just went after it. Yeah, sue me for what? What are you going to get? Nobody cares. You're going to sue Nobody Cares? And that's like, I just started taking games that, like, I guess would have normally been on TV. And I told the schools, I was like, who owns the content for your school? And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, well, does the PSAL own it? Does the Catholic High School Athletic Association own it? Who owns the content for your school? Like, we own the content for our school. Right. It was like, something happens on your school, in your property, and you film it. Whose is it? He's like, it's mine. I was like, you want to sell that or do you want to keep the rights? He's like, we want to keep the rights. And if we want to sell it, I understand what you're saying. I was like, great. So it's like, if I ask you for permission to broadcast, you give me permission to broadcast. If I was to profit from it in any way, just that specific thing, you would have access to revenue share. Okay. I don't operate that way. I operate under sponsors pay so that it's free for the school. So where I say, hey, you're my game of the week. You pay me nothing.
And they could get eyes on it.
They're like, great, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't think otherwise, right? So I developed like this niche where, like, let me just go where there's no cameras to avoid bullshit.
Yeah.
But then, like, the big games that with the big cameras, they all of a sudden stopped asking for the network that was covering it. And they'd be like, we kind of want Nobody Cares. And I was like, no, you don't. No.
This isn't
real.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of this town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it turned into like, no, we want Nobody Cares. And I was like, so then like it started to just snowball. Where I was like, all right, look, I am not broadcasting a 10-year-old girl's flag game on a Saturday morning for no reason.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're going to have to draw a line in the sand here.
Exactly.
So I was like, playoffs, championships, rivalries. They're like, what's a rivalry? I was like, if it's not a rivalry, I'll make it a rivalry. Just give me 24 hours. You know, that's how I feel. Like,
you'll drum up the.
We'll toilet paper somebody's house. We'll
figure it out.
We'll piss on somebody's logo and say it was the other team. Like, it's really easy to drum up, heat in this town. Believe me. And it just spiraled to like, no, well, we want Nobody Cares. That puts you into hot water with people that want the action. And like, you don't want the action, but you're just answering a bell.
Yeah, it was Staten Island was missing it. Like when the Nipper got shut down, it was
like, what are you doing? These guys are supporting local sports, right? It's like,
now, did you go to any kind of school for the whole sports media? None of that. Like college, like this wasn't something that you cared to be.
Like
fell
this
into
is
your lap.
I graduated from Oneonta with a degree in communication studies. So
well, something. You're communicating.
Yeah, I learned to talk to people.
Yeah, well.
That was an expensive way to learn that. But like, I look at it more, that was really good for me to get into comedy, to do stand-up. I started stand-up while I was there. But communication studies is all advertising, marketing, journalism, presentations.
Okay.
Mass communications is microphones, cameras, streaming.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I should have been learning to do this. If I already...
Well, it would have helped.
Yeah, like maybe minored in that instead of like karate or whatever I did. That was like the worst class ever. My buddy was like 10 a.m. on Thursday, easiest class. The like white belts was so tight around me that it was this. They were supposed to stream down past your knees.
Yeah.
The tie-offs were like this.
I know that feeling.
Like, and I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe this thing.
Wait, so you took a karate class
10 a.m. on Thursday in Oneonta. I was so hungover. It was like Wednesday night was like $5 pitchers or something. So
you were getting a workout.
No,
First thing Saturday
I looked
morning.
like Chris Farley, Beverly Hills Ninja, with no money and nothing, nothing to show for it. No, so it was more like, it helped that like I learned like how to speak in college, right? But like there wasn't. No, that's cool.
You're good.
But there wasn't like a prerequisite to learn all this shit.
Yeah.
And now like that I'm learning on the job because like I show up and it's like, don't worry, I got it. It looked good.
I just broke it.
No. Yeah. Scumbag.
No.
Yeah, I'll just hold it. You just ripped it.
Wait, do you want mine?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
It's just gonna drop, right?
Yeah.
You might like it.
I don't feel it.
I like it.
Well, I'll cut that all. I'll cut it all out anyway. No, I could get another one.
No. Look how cool I am.
Now I'm making you work. I feel bad.
No,
now I'm making you work.
So my days on the farm. You can milk anything with nipples.
So, but real quick, I just want to get back to what you said with the whole comedy thing. Is that still there, or?
Well, yeah. I mean,
doing it,
to be fair, I hope that this doesn't get lost in the branding, but we are a satirical sports network. Nobody should take anything we do too seriously. They're supposed to be entertained by it.
I always am when I listen.
Right. I would. So I look at it like, first and foremost, we're a satirical sports network. The fact that serious individuals choose a satirical sports network to provide them coverage on serious events is completely on the community.
Okay.
Right? Like, you called me, we're coming out, we're going to do the job, and it's going to be amazing.
And fun.
And fun, and nobody's going to think anything like, oh, we shouldn't have had the satirical guys do it. Like, those guys crushed it. But there will be like a handful of people like, is there somebody else we could do better than Nobody Cares? And those guys have a real gripe because they're right. Like, what is Nobody Cares doing here? And I agree. It gets spiraled completely out of control. But now that it's there, I'm like, look, I'm not changing the name. You know, everything stays the same.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep, like, we're expanding. We're booking into games in Jersey now, you know, trying
that's
to.
awesome.
Jersey Shore, etc.
What are we talking about? We're talking about sports, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about people playing sports.
Right.
A kid's game.
Yes.
Right? It should be what you're making it. It shouldn't be stealthy. It should be fun. You should be able to
having a good time.
Yeah.
That's why I say you guys got to come out into the booth like no one would ever say, who are these two color guys in the booth? They don't fit Dan's MO. Like they're gonna be like, oh, so they got new hires in today. You know?
No, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna have a lot of laughs.
I have big games. Like I'm trying to get like hockey in New Jersey is super big,
huge,
right?
Yep.
And like where I'm at is like now that I'm booking into Jersey, I'm booking like girls basketball. So there's this really good dude out here, Tom Sclafani. He does a lot of work with girls' high school basketball. And he reaches out to me. I don't know who he got my number from last winter. And he's like, man, I got games at Homedale High School.
Up the block, yeah.
He's like, it's 6 games, one day. I was like, that just sounds crazy. I'm in.
Sign me up.
He's like, what's it going to run me? I was like, I don't know. I'll do it for free. And he was like, that's crazy. And I was like, well, how much money do you have? He's like, not a lot. And I was like, well, we're back at free, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, you can't call me with no money. I was like, I gave you an answer. Let's do it.
Yeah.
He was like, all right. So like, same thing with CSI. Like, call Homedale High School, and they're like, you can't come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, no problem. So we'll call the guy that we're supposed to call. That guy's on vacation, but he says it's cool. So it was like they wouldn't allow me access to their internet, all this other stuff, but I told them I'd do the game. So Qualitech Computers, Farrell guy, Adam Manoni was like, we'll figure out internet. Like we'll get you a tower or something. And they did, it worked. We did the 6 games. After that, like, it's like, well, why did I just get this game? Like, why did I get this event? Like 6 high school basketball games. The girls were like top 10 in the country.
Okay. So
2 of the schools were nationally ranked in the top 10. The other schools were all ranked like in the state in the top 5. And I was like, what the, why? Like when I was there, the scouts at this event were from the craziest schools across the country.
And why are they calling
and I was like,
me?
why did I get called here? Like, what's happening? I'm not from here.
No, you're
I'm a Staten Island guy, and I'm broadcasting at Homedale High School. So why? Because nobody cares about the girls. If it was a boys' high school tournament day, 8 schools, bro, Under Armour would have been there.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not to say that Under Armour won't go there, but they won't be the first to reach out. So now when these organizers reach out, they're like, well, let's call Nobody Cares real quick. Let's just see if this is real. And I'm like, I'll see you Thursday. You know what I mean? Like, this guy says he's coming, because I look at it like, let's take the opportunities where they are. So now, like, we're doing that tournament again this year. And I'm like, well, people said, well, you need to do Middletown North and South. I'm like, what? The football game is the biggest game in the state. It's broadcasted, right? I'm like, so I'm not doing that. Basketball is definitely broadcasted. But I would say, who's broadcasting the girls' varsity game? Maybe nobody. Who's broadcasting the hockey game between those 2 schools? Maybe nobody.
Yeah.
And when
it gives you an inkling to get in.
And I know it's a certified rivalry. I know
you don't
that,
need the big game.
I don't.
It's a start.
That's it. I don't need the championship. I just need a big game that matters in the middle of nowhere one day.
And that's it. And it gets you to where now the schools 100%. Know you. People start to learn the name.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And then it could grow to that next spot, the big game.
Well, you look into, again, I'm looking to work a niche market. I'm not reinventing the wheel. There are real sports networks out there, ESPN, MSG, yes, SNY, etc., choosing not to work in the local sports world, choosing to, invest their eggs elsewhere. Gambling is huge right now.
Yep.
So if you can't kind of circle back to gambling, maybe we shouldn't circle there at all. So that's kind of the way the big networks are trending. And then these local sports is just all streaming.
Yeah.
So it turns into what conglomerate is going to take over streaming. So there was a company called Local Live, and they were the streaming service for all the private schools on Staten Island.
Really?
Monsignor Farrell, St. Peter's, Moore, C. They would do like Archbishop Stepanak. They're in Jersey. They're over here, Long Island, etc. They're a Northeast company. Started out broadcasting church services.
Oh, hallelujah.
Right?
From church to sports.
One day, somebody called them and said, hey, would you do this sports game? They're like, sure. It costs this. Next thing you know, they're the biggest, sports company in the Northeast. So it was a subscription-based package where they would install a camera on the 50-yard line or half court.
Okay.
And they would a kid in a basement would remotely operate the camera. And you would say, hey, we got a game Thursday. Can you schedule it? We're playing this team. Sure, we'll get a producer on it. The producer's some pot-smoking 22-year-old kid in his dad's basement.
Yeah.
Just got to track the ball, and that's it. So I was like, I am not competing with this company, right? That's what I think, right? But I said, they are at the Catholic schools. I'm a DOE vendor, so I could work at the public schools. But I thought, how can I get in with the Catholic schools when they have this entity? I was like, do what the Commodore would do. Just call the VP of the company.
Fucking guy. Brilliant.
Hey, man, I'm broadcasting with these high schools. I need access to your audio.
Sorry.
Who's calling me out right there, right then and there?
That's insane.
Right?
Nobody.
Who's he going to call?
Sounds legit.
Sounds totally legit. He's like, what do you need? I was like, well, I need access to your studio. I was like, what's your studio number? I want to talk to the producer. I got to run a check before our game this weekend. I got to make sure everything's good. Here's the number of the studio.
Jeez.
Thank you. Funny story with this company. First time I'm working with them is at St. Peter's.
Oh. My alma mater, be gentle.
Oh, baby, this is a real good story. Like, this is like how, like, this company was like, this is our guy, right? I was like, look, I don't want to compete with this company. I want to work with this company. So I got in at Peter's. It was like the first game I did there. Me and the Commodore are up in the booth. I hook up the mixer. Everything's cool. The stream is live, but it's like an hour and 15 minutes before the game. Nobody's watching a high school football stream at like 10:45 when the game starts at 12, right? I do my mic checks. I think that I'm unplugged. So I just want to test that I can hear and the mics are good.
Of course.
So I start saying crazy shit to work it out of my system.
Yeah.
This is how I used to work because I did stand-up for 14 years. So I think you're about to call a Catholic high school football game. You better work out all the kinks before you go live, brother, not knowing we were live.
Yeah, before you're dropping bombs on live TV.
So I remember I said specifically, I was like, hey, I was on the sidelines before the game. I spoke to the Farrell football coach, and he told me to go fuck myself, right?
And now this is streaming.
Oh,
jeez.
Commodore looks at me. He's like, that's a pretty wild thing to say during sound check. I was like, don't worry. Nobody's listening. So I walk out of the booth. Some guy comes running out of the school, sprinting. I'm like, what's he running about? He's like, there's something wrong with your microphones. I was like, there's something wrong with the microphones. He's like, I don't know. He's so out of breath, he must have ran from like the opposite side of the school, sitting and like listening to the game. And he sprinted like, and he was so out of breath. And he's just like, there's something wrong with your mics. And I was like, what's wrong with them? He's like, you're playing like a recording or something. And I was like, what's the recording say? He's like, bad things. And I was like, bad things. And he was like, yeah, F-bombs. And I was like, F-bombs? So I was like, oh no, right? I was like, I'll be right back, right? So I run up into the booth and I see my dad. I was like, that shit I said, it was live. And he was like, yeah, it was. So then like, I was like, look, I got to call that VP guy.
Oh, shit.
That I said, hey, I need access to your audio. I got to call him and let him know, like, we're going to have an issue here. So first I called the studio. It was a Saturday. Studio's like, don't worry about it. People can't rewind on our channel. They can only watch it live.
All right, cool. So it's gone.
He's like, so when I said, cool. So when the game's over, you edit the beginning. Right?
All right, take it out.
Kid's like, okay. I was like, remember to edit this. Kid's like, I got you. He didn't have me.
He didn't have
me. So I go home and I'm like, oh my God, bro, if you start the broadcast, you'll see like it's way before the game starts. But if you hang out for about 5 minutes, you'll get a show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to do something about this. So I sleep on it. I'm like, they'll fix it in the morning. Sunday morning, it's still on the site. And I'm like, now I genuinely have a problem. Peters versus Farrell, not a good intro.
No.
So I'm like, I have to call that guy. Where I said, hey, I'm the guy. I gotta tell him that something happened. So I call him and he doesn't answer. Sunday morning, it's like 10:30. Rightfully so. I'm panicking. So I call him again. He doesn't answer. And he texts me back. He's like, I am in church right now with my family.
That's what I was going to say. He's probably in church.
What do you need? I said, I need you to get up out of church right now and call me. We have an issue. And he was like, give me 2 minutes. Calls me back. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, look, the broadcast said a lot of crazy shit. And I need you to edit the beginning of it. And he's like, what did you say? I was like, it was crazy. It's not a big deal. I was like, but you have to edit it because Father Michael or whoever is about to watch it with his eggs and it's going to be a problem. And he was like, okay, no problem. So I was like, I'm fucked. This guy's going to listen to it.
But it's not like you said, like, you know what? Oh, I got St. Peter's and Farrell, and they fucking go fuck themselves.
No,
it was just in context the way it is.
Joking around on my own, right? And
words.
like, I was like, that's it for me. Like, I'm never gonna work with the Catholic schools again, rightfully so. And then he just hit me back, and he was like, he called me. He said, "Listen, I just gotta let you know, I'm working in this game about 25 years. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen." He was like, "You called me, tell me I got to leave church." He was like, "You're 100%. I had to leave church." He's like, "We had to get that off, right?" He's like, "That was the greatest sound check I've ever heard." He's like, amazing. "You work with me anytime."
Nice. So it worked out for you.
Those guys just got bought out by NBC Sports. So I'm hoping like I'm next in line. I don't know if they want Nobody Cares, you know.
Well, I like the setup of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like the way you're mixing it all together with your
right.
Your comedic background.
Yeah, it's totally comedic and satirical, and I hope that people get
niche,
that.
Man.
Right.
That's something that's not really out there anymore. It really, who else used to do stuff like that? Maybe Memory?
Well, look at it like I heavily, if I was going to be influenced by somebody in sports broadcasting, it would be a real broadcaster active now, maybe the Gus Johnson.
Okay.
Nailed it. That's what I was going to say.
I love his energy because he calls both sides of the ball the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't tell who he's rooting for. And he's always been that way. So, you know, if Curtis is playing Tottenville in football, I'm just as hyped over a Tottenville touchdown, even though it might be killing me inside. You gotta go that way, right? And at some point, like it doesn't kill you because you don't care. You're not an Al Bundy. You're just supporting local sports. Nobody does care. Exactly. Yeah, that's really like where it's at. Is that you always have to maintain that like sort of funny charisma. I mean, looking at it, another person that would, if you put it in a blender and made a broadcasting baby, which isn't how babies are made.
No, Dan, that's not how it happens. But
I like that idea. It sounds easy.
So strange the way my brain's like, just say this one.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So if you had two broadcasters that made a baby, two male broadcasters, Gus Johnson and Bob Uecker.
Okay.
So that's where I am, like in the
Major
middle.
League last night.
Right.
It's amazing.
Now, Bob Uecker was hysterical, but if you listen to a game that Bob called, you got the game.
He was amazing.
You were entertained by Bob, but you got the game first.
Yeah.
And Bob second, and couldn't tell where the first start and the second ended, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I like the ebb and flow of a game to be like, it says nobody cares. He's telling me nobody cares, but damn it, I'm having a good time.
But I care. Exactly.
So it's just psychological, like reverse psychology. It's like it was started as a farce, and you know, local sports is a crazy place, and I wear fun shirts to portray a good time, right? But it's really not a good time in local sports. You know, there's people that like coach their kids little league, and they're like, I can't wait till my son ages out, so I never have to look at this field again. You know what I mean? Like, and I work in this field. Like people are like, hey, so like, why are you tired? Football season just started. I'm like, football season just started? You think my life's in seasons? I'm like, this shit never ends, dude.
It's constant.
You know, yeah. So I'm like, listen, as long as we just like sell positive vibes, you know, push the good time, push the smiles, like people know there's bullshit. Yeah. If you want bullshit, you got 1,000 channels that'll feed it to you.
Yeah.
More than you 100%. Need. But if you want to check out from that and just watch local sports, whether you're connected to it or not, I guarantee you'll be entertained by it. And it's my job to make sure that the product on the court is semi-decent. I've done 19-2 CYO girls games and had 1,000 people watching.
That's awesome.
So I don't know. It wasn't the barn burner, that we thought it was going to be, but
you got the eyes.
The eyes are there. So I look at it like, well, who the hell are these? I know 6 people, and they don't watch what I do, because when you do entertainment, when you first start doing comedy, you do bringer shows. You got to bring people.
Yeah.
It's not real. you're just bringing people for stage time.
Exactly.
Right? And then I think you realize, like, I don't want to entertain my friends and family. I want to entertain the public. Like, I want to see what it's like. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
When they're not just making fun that they're laughing.
Yeah, they're laughing because they want to be nice.
And it's you.
So I started doing Brooklyn rooms, like what they call the black rooms, like only black audiences.
Oh, damn.
And I was just crushing it. So I was like, this was my circuit. And I was just like, I felt like any room I got in, there was no situation I couldn't handle. And I feel that way with comedy still. And I would like to get back into headlining, but it takes some time. But it's just situational, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, one time I did a show. I was going to a bar. I just wanted a cheeseburger. My buddy was driving a Camaro. Totally circumstantial. He dropped me off in front of the bar. The bouncer thought I was the comedian. And it was one of these Brooklyn rooms.
Okay.
We were just leaving Barnes & Noble. Crazy night. Producer's laughing at me. I mean, keep it professional. We just left Barnes & Noble, and I wanted a cheeseburger on the way home. I was like, yo, stop at this bar. I want to get a cheeseburger. So he pulls up in the front. The bouncer is like, you a comedian? And I'm like, that's so fucked up.
Does this look funny to you?
What is funny about me?
Tell you that I'm a comedian?
I'm standing there holding a Barnes & Noble bag in my hand. Like, why are you taking shots at me? And he was intimidating. So I just said, yes, I am. Because I'm a little bitch, right? I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian. Can I just get my cheeseburger? He was like, come on in. I was like, thanks, man. So I ordered my cheeseburger at the bar. The other bouncer's like, oh, that guy wants to talk to you. I was like, that's weird. So the guy's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm getting a cheeseburger.
I'm eating.
You're on 5. I was like, no. No. He's like, yeah, you're on 5. You're the comedian, right? I was like, no. I was like, that's not real. I was like, I'm here to get a cheeseburger. I was like, let me see the room. And I looked in and it was just like 80 angry people. Nobody was laughing. And I was just like, no, I'm not going.
Was there a comedian on? And they would just.
They had 3 comics that weren't having much success.
Okay.
The headliner is a great headliner, and he was going to crush. But he was late. And the guy was like, I just need like 10 minutes. And I was like, bro.
Before they burn this joint down.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy talk. I was like, you don't even know. And he was like, it's 10 minutes till your burger's ready. I'll buy you a burger. Like, done.
Yeah, free burger.
So like,
I'm getting paid for this shit.
The host don't even know my name, right? He's like, give it up for Dan. Really, really tough intro, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just remember getting on stage and being like, not supposed to be here right now. And people kind of giggled. I was like, just coming from the store. It's like, just going to put my bag down, but no offense. Really trust anybody in the room. I was like, I just came from Barnes & Noble, and like I put the Barnes & Noble bag down on the plate, and they just all started laughing. I was like, anyway, let's just get into it. You know what I mean? And like, I remember crushing, and after that, I was like, I really don't like walking into blind rooms like that, but it's good to know that you can handle any situation, right? So
Yeah.
Sports broadcasting isn't that. It's not that world. It's not sink or swim. Nobody gives a fuck. You're broadcasting a local sports game at the end of the day. Like, the people that take it that seriously, like, we're broadcasting a high school championship today. Out of my way. Dude, come on.
They need help. Because it's not.
It's the Al Bundy in the booth, the guy that, you know, what are we doing? Because those people, they all want to sound like ESPN. They all want to get picked up and scooped up. They don't actually care about the game that they're at. They're trying to doctor it so that they can, hey, that guy's got a good call. Let's take him. It's never going to happen. It's impossible.
And let's be honest, like ESPN is dropping people daily.
All the time. These aren't companies you want to work for either, right? And you see like the power of podcasting and influencers on social media. The way people get their information now isn't the way that we got it growing up. You know, like people say to me like, Dan, when are you doing your own podcast? I'm like, why would you want to listen to me? Like, I got I know 6 people. None of them follow what I do. My brother doesn't watch what I do, right?
Well, he only was real quick. He was watching that one time because I was telling you that you guys were saying a kid's name wrong
all the time.
The St. Peter's.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain it to you through text, through him, and you literally on camera were like, "All right, being told I'm saying this kid's name wrong, so we're gonna try it again." And I was like the way I put the letters out was trying to get you to pronounce it the right way. It was Vallely. That's all I'm gonna say. You guys were saying Vallely.
It's not Vallely?
Vallely.
No, it's Ryan Vallely.
Vallely.
Shout out to Ryan.
And my brother, shout out to Ryan. And my brother never texts me.
They actually watch us.
My brother's never watches the thing I do. And he's like, "You're saying a kid's name wrong." I was like, "What?"
And I'm listening.
Watched anything I've ever done in your life.
I was watching the game and I'm like, "Dude, you got to help me." And Chris was like, "I'm in."
This is crazy. And like, it's crazy is like, I always say, like, when we go live, I'm like, "Oh, we got to send another fruit basket out." Because all we do is say, people's names wrong. As soon as we go live, it's just text messages nonstop. Like, "You said my son's name wrong. How'd you get this number?"
Yeah, exactly.
What is going on here? Send them a fruit basket. What's happening? Like, do you think that I know the rosters of a high school sports team when I show up to broadcast a game?
I want to ask that question.
How much research do you do before every game? Honestly.
You guys are trying to expose me right now? Or is this like a
No. We want to know. Like, is it because I get it. I've listened to the broadcast. I love it.
Well, you guys,
I love that end of it.
You're friends with James Speciale?
I am.
You're friends with James.
Yeah, I grew up with him.
So funny. So like, I told you I'd be on the podcast.
Yep.
And I didn't tell anybody. Right? I was like, "Yeah, sure."
I reached out to James.
And then James happens to be a sports writer for the Advance. And he hits me up and he's like, "What do you want, a hiatus? You're not working?" And I was like, "I'm working. What's going on?" He's like, "Just enjoy that podcast Sunday, wink." And I'm like, "The fuck? How do you know this?" Right? He's like, "I grew up with nice guys, whatever, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "All right." So it's just funny, like the small world. But James would be a good person to ask, like, "What's Danny do in the studio?" I think his answer would just be, he just sweats and panics. Because when I do a game, I want to give you a product that you remember. If you want to see more money and you want to see more cameras, just change the channel. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is Wayne's World meets ESPN. Like, we're somewhere in the middle here. Our games are really like, I'm doing a million things at once. You're supposed to have a producer. Shout out to Wendy.
Thank you.
You remember the name.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, very good, right? But you are supposed to have a producer that's like overseeing things. Make sure your stream is good. Make sure your audio is good. Video quality is running good. If you were running ads, we'd run those ads at certain intervals. We'd tell people, "Hey, guys, we're going to cut to commercial in 30 seconds. Tighten up." We'd say, "Hey, we're going to run this graphic on screen, or we're going to run this audio now," and you'd have like an earpiece in, and you'd hear that, but the audience wouldn't hear it. We don't have any of that. We have Tyler, move the goddamn camera. You know what I mean? And Tyler's like a 14-year-old kid spaced out, and we had to hire Tyler because Chinese Bookie was reading Chinese news. Like, it would be like 30 seconds left in the game. Crunch time, right? Ball's about to be inbounded, and the camera's like staring over here, like nowhere near anything. And I'm like, what the? I'm doing a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And then like I'll look at the feed and I see like camera 1 is pointed at like somebody's kneecap, and I'll be like, what's going on over there? And I look at Chinese Bookie, it's just reading the news. Like nothing else is going on.
He's looking at spreads.
Like, Bookie, what are you kidding me? And he's not no walkie-talkie. So I gotta like bring up my mic and his headphones and be like, "Bookie, lock in right now. Put the Chinese news down." I'm like, you hear that at home.
I love that.
And I'll be like, "Put the camera on the ball." And then the camera goes on the ball. And then you see the chat room light up.
Yeah,
right? It's like, because
laughing.
if I wanted to be like, please, a real network, pick me up and notice me, I would panic and try and figure out how to get the cameraman's attention. throw shit at them. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, our cameraman is reading international news right now, not paying attention. Because you're home like, move the camera. It's like, so if I just address it, like, look, we're a shell of ourselves right now. We're trying to get it together. And then we deliver a dynamite ending, and you're like, wow. Are those guys fucking with me, or is that guy really that bad at the camera? You know what I mean? Like, and afterwards, I'm like, are you kidding me with that Chinese new shit? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is all like real, but because I'm like, hey, this is satirical, we got to make sure that even with our frustrations, they come out funny.
It plays through.
We want people at home to have a good time and understand that we are here for them, not for us. And that's the way it plays, right? So I think at the end of the day, good vibes just sell.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your company name is, who you are, etc. If you have a good product, people want it. And we're competing with these big dogs to where they're like, what the hell's this nobody cares guy? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll take the game. We'll be there too.
Yeah, we'll do it. But how did because I know I've seen you guys together, how did the bookie come about, Chinese bookie?
Yeah, I was standing by a great river.
A what?
I was standing by a great river.
A river?
And a
like
basket.
A body of water?
Yes. And a basket came floating and stopped at my feet. And when I opened the basket, there was a blanket. And inside was the bookie.
Bro, that's Willow, the movie.
Again, I think you're confusing references. Maybe you heard this story from somebody else on our network, but that's Bookie's origin.
Shit.
Yeah.
So we fell on your toes.
Yeah. His big thing is that, like, he's not a real bookie. I'm not a real sports broadcaster. We're all having fun.
Yep.
But Tyler's real.
Tyler's real. The students that work with me, they're all real. All right. Like the founding fathers of this network. Our Mount Rushmore is crumbling right now. Right. But Bookie's whole gimmick was, look, dude, you're not real. Right. When I met him, truth be told, he had another nickname. People called him the Chinese Muslim. And I was like, that's wildly offensive.
Did he have a carpet?
I was like, why do people call you Chinese Muslim? He said, well, one day I was eating and someone offered me pork. And I said, no, thank you. And they said, are you Muslim? I said, no, but you're a Chinese Muslim. And he says, I can't get these guys to stop calling me Chinese Muslim. I'm like, that's crazy. I have a sports show. Would you like to be the Chinese bookie instead? Yes, that sounds better. Good. So that's how, like, literally how it started. And with the bookie, I was like, hey, man, maybe we'll make some money with this guy. I was like, hey, 5 games. Who do you like? He was like 1 for 4. I was like, yeah, come on, bro.
Go against the bookie.
My nieces are better than you.
You're better than that.
So I was like, bet against the bookie, right? It was viable. And then he started fucking up. He started going like 2 for 2. I was like, 2 for 2 doesn't help anybody, buddy. You're wrong, you're right. Come on, man. He's like, I'm sorry, I'll try and be better. And I was like, I'm yelling at a guy. It's not even real. What am I doing, right?
Shit.
So I was like, maybe I'm being too hard on you. So I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're not real, so we don't want you to be real. You're going to give us sports betting on animals that fight each other, okay? So if there's 2 animals fighting each other, who wins? That's all I want your logic to be. He goes, what if 2 teams are playing and one of them's not an animal? I go, you don't give action.
We only want
animal
against
picks.
the lions.
So then he's over there like, I guess, if a lion fought an eagle and an eagle had the aerial advantage, that's interesting. And he just sits there and breaks it down in his head. And I'm like, so what's the spread on this? So the spread starts with, now let's get into, it started with like, all right, do the NFL teams for animals, because that's fun. And then I was like, well, everybody's got animals. Let's start doing this with the local teams, right? And then the first time, like, I did like a fake spread. A spread is, I feel, gets a bad rep, because spread indicates like, hey, we're gambling. We don't have any money. We don't have a sports
We're not
book.
paying anybody here.
We're not paying anybody anything. Like, this is all a farce. It's a satirical sports network. So we're saying, oh, here's the spread on this little girl's softball game this afternoon. Like,
all joking.
Siemens Furniture is going to be favored by a 1.5, and the dads are in the stands like, You got action? You know what I mean? Like, that's not my... Just because the dad's got a problem doesn't mean I do. We're just saying this is a preview of the game.
It's all fun.
So it turned into like, well, that's a lot of fun, right? And people would say, well, what's the spread on tonight's game? And I thought, well, that's weird that we said that as a joke. And you came back with, what's the spread for tonight? Because all of a sudden, art imitates life. And it turned into, well, people want spreads for certain games. I'm like, well, we really only do the animals and stuff like that. So we'll have to...
Just you saying that, dude.
Yeah, I have to stick with that, right? So, but not to cut you off, we kind of got into trouble. I never focus on the betting aspect of it. But there was a game like 2 years ago. The first championship game we did, the basketball high school championship for basketball. It's a big deal on Staten Island.
Yeah.
And St. Joseph C, I remember maybe upset somebody in the semis to make it to the finals, and they played Peters. So it was a big deal, Peters and C. And I was like, Bookie, we got a problem. This is a Viking and it's an eagle.
No,
I don't know how we got action on this one. And he was like, yeah, that's a tough one. I was like, I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a spread. You obviously take the blame / credit for everything. He was like, sure. I was like, 5.5 points. He was like, good, let's make it. I'll post it. I was like, people are going to be mad just because it's local sports and you're saying, hey, this team's going to win, whatever. So, we favored the Eagles to win by 5.5. That game, I can't remember who did the game with me. I know Ray Palmer was one of the dudes, and I don't know who the third dude was, but I remember Ray's call. Peters was up by 7. All right. Now, people asked me before the game, what's the line? What's the spread? I was like, I don't know. It was like, the line was like the X amount of points, whatever. And I was like 55.5, kind of, or whatever it was. And I was like, on the spread's 5.5. Peters is up by 7 towards the end of the game. I was like, this shit can't be real, right? And then C inbounds and gets a meaningless 2-point buzzer beater, layup. And the first words that should have been said was, and St. Peter's wins the Staten Island title. Ray Palmer yells into the microphone, backdoor cover.
Oh, right.
And it's real. I went out that night, and I was like, I want to go get something to eat. I went to Jody's, and, some guy comes up to me and he's like, man, I lost $100 on that game tonight. I'm like, bro, how did you lose 100? We don't have a sports book. How'd you lose 100? He's like, well, I bet my friend it was a 5.5 point spread. He's like, can you believe that shit came down to the last play? And I was like, this is bad out here.
Yeah, this is getting ugly.
This is getting ugly out here, right? I was like, Bookie, we got to stick to the animals, So
stick to the animals.
Because people think that it's real, and it's not. And behind the scenes, we're like, just giggling the whole time
to see what happens.
Just to see what happens. It's like the world's greatest social experiment. And as we're expanding the coverage, people are like, free, good time. Yeah, we'll take the coverage. And I know they're going to love the coverage. So it's Bookie's just a part of it. Where I was like, look, man, if you're going to be a part of it, you got to be fake. I'm not saying that I'm not real.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that I'm playing a role. I don't sit at dinner and talk in a sports broadcasting accent and I ask you to pass the salt, please. You'd be like, this guy's a dick. Nobody acts like that all the time, So it's like you have to play a character. I was like, you're not real.
But to be honest, it's like you giving it that aspect in the high school sport, whatever you're doing, and joking around with it. It gives someone, like you say, 2 guys are watching it together. They're fans of the team. They went to the high school, whatever it is. And they're watching this game, and it's kind of like you putting a bet on a Giants game.
Yeah.
You're not fully engaged because you're older. You could care less who wins. But if you bet the game, now you become so much more involved.
So invested.
Right? So it is a way of getting more eyes on it as a joking around. If you're hanging out with a group of friends, hey, let's fuck around. Let's Dan put this on there. Let's fuck around.
My father used to say, he knows guys that'll spit at a wall and gamble which one comes down and hits the floor first. You know what I mean? There's guys out there that will gamble on anything. That's true, right? So with us, we just look at it like, let's just have fun because especially at the level of high school, it mirrors college so much. And to say that the kids don't have an understanding of who's favored by a plus and minus is bananas. When I was a kid, it took me some understanding to see what my dad was reading in the back pages of the Post. What are those plus minus things? He was like, that's how we get extra money this weekend. You know,
that's how we're gonna eat.
As you worry about it, it's your ice cream right there. You know, but like now it's like gambling is just literally everywhere. You know, So like I said, it's not gambling; it's terminologies, and we're just kind of having fun with it as we go. Right, Bookie's a part of that, but absolutely send your hate mail to him. Right, directly.
That's awesome. Do you have a preference? What's your favorite event to call? Would it be baseball, football, basketball?
I sweat profusely.
What do you have more fun? What do you enjoy more?
So you don't like baseball,
or is it just the production of it that you enjoy? It could be any sport.
I don't even know if I really enjoy the production of it because I enjoy calling a game. I like calling. Calling a game is really easy because doing stand-up is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Remembering where you are in a set with no paper can be difficult when the audience laughs for longer than you expected them to. And you're like, oh, fuck, where was I? And now they're all looking at you like, come on, funny man, do it again. You're like, shut up, I'm having a panic attack here, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, now like, but like you could sweat on a comedy stage and people think, classic cocaine comedian, no big deal. You know, like you sweat at a girls' high school basketball game. Like, what's this guy's deal? You know, like, like this guy's weird. I'm like, why is he panicking so much? But it's like my brain just works overtime with like the producing and the commercials and the audio and the stream and the chat room. Is that spicy? Are we keeping that under control? You know, and then ball's inbounded, coming across the timeline, you know, bring it to the left. Who's the next sponsor up? Like, how's the camera doing? All right, kick into the corner, 3-ball, and bang. And what I started doing was not watching the game. And my commentators caught me, right? Because I'm doing so much that I was like, first of all.
Well, behind the scenes, you're paying attention to all
I was like,
stuff.
I just want to worry about my sponsors being on screen. I want to make sure that, like, nothing's choppy and all this other shit. So, like, I'm just worried about that. And I used to like basketball. I'll find an ebb and flow. 5 people on the court. I watch a couple possessions. It's the same rotation every time. Kick it into the left wing, work it around the perimeter, get it into the paint. If it's not there, back up top. They did it 3 times in a row. So I know they're going to do it a 4th time. So now is my opportunity to like look at the live feed and everything like that. So I'll be like, point guard brings it across the timeline. And I don't see him, but I'm doing like the hot girl peripheral thing where I can see him in my peripherals. So like I see him like a shadow comes across the timeline, kicks it into the corner, left wing, and nobody thinks anything. I'm like, I pause, I'll be like working around the perimeter, and I'm like reading the chat, kick into the corner, and then I'll hear like the crowd take a deep breath, and I'm like, 3-ball, and you hear the crowd go crazy, and he bangs it from downtown. I look up, see who's like celebrating. I'm like, Smith from beyond the arc, a 4-point lead. And I started getting really good at that to be able to do 7 things at once. But one day I said like, and he buries it, right? And like commentators were like, no, he didn't. And I was like,
you got caught.
The hell are you talking about, man? They were like, Dan, are you even watching the game? And I was like, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not paying attention at all. Like, and it was like the funniest thing ever because they were like, how? Like, you had us fooled that you were watching. And I was like, yeah, dude, it's all an act. I'm not
But it's
watching.
real. But it's real.
It's
And you're not
totally
gonna,
real.
Exactly. You're not
Like,
trying
I
to
don't do that
backdoor
the
out of it.
whole game, but there's times where I'm like, oh, this chat's getting spicy. That kid needs to be banned. Like, this, you know, the bandwidth is fucking up. We got to change this. Like, the audio has that. We got to adjust this for the next commercial. I need 15 seconds here. There's no timeout. You can't get it. Like, it's like, all right, let's just bullshit.
Because like you said, you're doing this pretty much. So now
Yeah.
you're doing all the setup. You're doing all that.
Well, like,
You're
if you
all
guys
on
come
your
out
own.
to a broadcast, I want you to have fun. I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
setup is 6 hours before the game. Bring bacon, egg, and cheese. Wear comfortable shoes. You'd be like, I'm not going to this game.
I would do that anyway.
Right?
I would still.
No,
I'm getting out of the house.
Yeah, or I'll be there, Dan. You know, no, but I want you to just show up for the game. I'm like, here's your rosters, here's our sponsors. I'll give you your cues. Let's have some fun. I'll give you like minimal direction. I'll say, I want you to speak 10 seconds or less. Don't talk over each other. Let's have some fun, and I'll go live. And I want you to be baptized by fire.
Yeah.
And
I want to see if you're
I'm
any
in.
good. You know.
He's gonna do a lot better than I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but I like the guy that like, are you also panicking? Like, yeah, I'm like, all right, good. You know, like, because
it's not just me.
I'm doing a good job of masking it, you know. But I remember I had this kid coming up to me. I had no idea who he was, and he was like, "Hey, man, I just want to say, like, I was watching your game, and like the camera started messing up, and then you said, I'm having a panic attack." And he was like, "I just want to let you know that I really love that, so I'm gonna subscribe to you." And I was like, "You like when I have panic attacks live on the air?" He's like, "I relate to that."
Where are your parents?
I was like, you need some help? You all right? You know what I mean? But it was like, I think it was just, he was saying like the rawness of it. Like people on TV, I think maybe try to be like, "No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Don't front. You're not fine. Tell the people you're panicking."
Yeah, but it's real. It's the real you.
Yeah,
right?
so
you're not trying to mask it.
that's all it is. Like if you come on, you're panicking. Like, I'm fucking panicking. Like, all right, go ahead, buddy. Like nobody cares. Like you think I'm gonna lose a sponsor because he started panicking on the air?
No, just jump in because
You just jump in and have fun. So a lot of it is like just doing too. So I wouldn't say that I really enjoy, hey, this is gonna be fun, because then people watch me. They watch me sweat, but then they're like, well, that kid is doing a lot of shit at once. Like, because you could sit behind in the stands and watch. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, I guess he's sweating for a reason, you know. Yeah. But it turns into like, I like to call a game, but the whole, I feel like if somebody came around like, hey, you know, let us run this end of it. Like you fill in the gaps. So like we'll portray the info. You worry about what you're good at. Because I don't feel I'm good at broadcasting. I feel that I'm proficient at it. I feel that I am consistent at it.
Okay.
Like I answer the bell and I'm out there every day. But I'm not laying brick as great as it could be laid. There's a guy with a better technique that, you know, slaps it together 1, 2, 3. But my bridge is crossable. There's people partying on it, and they're like, no, we like this bridge. It's sketchy, but we're here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the MO is behind it, right? Like, just get out there every day, act like you're enjoying it. You will. It's better than laying brick. My God, that job sucks. Roofing sucks. As a man, you do so many jobs that suck before you find the job that you love, like sanitation, and you're like, oh, I should have done this earlier. You know, it's like I feel that way. Like it's not something that I necessarily love, but I enjoy making people happy. I enjoy entertaining. That's what comedy is. That's what entertainment is.
You enjoy people laughing.
If I could do that, then I'm good, right? If it's a byproduct of 10 other jobs that got me there, then that's just is what it is.
So no, reality, if you really did get more so into the studying end and learning that part of it, you think you'd probably hate it because now it's 100%. Not what you really want.
It's like I stopped watching comedy when I was doing it because I didn't want to sound like anybody else when I was writing.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a big thing too. Like you would go, say, Broadway Comedy Club, say a guy had a show coming up on Comedy Central. And you're like a nobody. And you're like, oh, well, maybe if I do really good tonight, he'll notice me and I can open for him. He's already got an opener. What he's going to do is probably going to take your best joke and like rewrite it a little bit.
Yep.
And when he uses it, you're going to be like, that's my joke. But nobody knows who you are.
Exactly.
So it turns into like, well, now I can't even take my shot like when I think I could take my shot at a comedy club, right? So with the whole world just kind of like being that way, I think you just have to take it in its stride. You know what I mean? Like, let's not give our best effort here because there's always somebody out there that's probably going to take it and run with it. We're like, nobody cares is like looking to blend.
Yeah. That's it.
We don't want other networks to be like, get those guys and what they're doing. We want the other networks to be like, why are they working that way? You know?
I like that. It's
this is on.
You know, but it's our own. You know, it's our own identity. And there is people, like I said, like we just try not to entertain the folks that don't want to be entertained. Is all it is.
It's on your own terms.
Yeah.
I love that.
This isn't a state-run network, right? You tune in when you want to tune in. So, you know, it's I don't love this. This is fun. You know, you guys,
this is
fun.
You got to
like
look
the
at
whole
getting into.
The whole work on camera in front of an audience thing definitely gets old after a while, you know.
Yeah, but you're doing great at it, man. So
no, I appreciate.
We're not gonna put that down to light. But I'd seen a few things at the Dog Days of Summer.
Yeah,
like what made you get into like start that out? Like
nothing. That like nothing. There's nothing to do. It's dead in the summer. Little League comes to an end. You sit for 3 weeks and you're like, what am I going to do? People just keep bothering me. I'm like, ESPN isn't broadcasting anything. They're in the same shit thing. They're airing the 1980 U.S. Hockey Olympics.
They got cornhole going
Yeah,
on.
like I got wild stuff on in those late dog days of August. I don't know. I just thought like I need something for advertisers to say that I'm busy in August. So what is a project that I could make? And I just thought I could just go to football camp and just mic up kids. And like I started working with young photographers who reach out to me, like you said, like people that want to be broadcasters, that want to be broadcasters. They don't want to be a satirical broadcaster. They want to be a broadcaster. But they reach out to me like they reach out to anybody and say, hey, I want to get a job. I'm like, great, you're on a game Thursday. I'm like, what? I thought you wanted coffee. I'm like, you want to work or not? Like, I need help. Tyler's fucking up on camera. Like, so that's kind of like where we're at. And with these kids that come on, like they want to be legitimate. And I say, yeah, like, come on out. But what was your question? I'm like losing my mind over here.
No, the dog days of summer.
Oh yeah, so then like they'll come out and they'll be like, "What are you looking for, like for us on camera?" And I'm like, "My whole camera is fluff. It's just hype. There's nothing here. The people that get mad about what I post are getting mad about things that aren't real. Like I don't want you to post anything of any substance. No game-winning touchdowns. No like questionable calls. Get a kid tying his shoelaces.
Yeah.
You get mad at that kid tying his shoelaces. I don't want you following the network. You know what I mean? So it's like." Dog days is just fluff. It's just supposed to make a team look great, remind you of when you played football. That looks sick. Oh, the field looks like that sick. That's all it is.
Yeah. But honestly, watching it, we were looking at it last night, and I was telling Wendy, I'm like, it reminds me, and I didn't realize they could do certain drills still when they were hitting,
when they were hitting, I was like, is this real?
Yeah, I saw Gambo on there when you were doing Curtis, and I loved it because it brought me back to the days of doing the dog days of summer myself, because I played for Peters.
Like, wow, these kids are still out there.
And I'm like, I thought it was all like fluffed up on the sports end of high school football now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they're still letting them do certain things where
100%.
They were saying like, oh, you can't do this. And to be in it, and they allow you to do that.
Well, what happens is Dave Fernandez does a lot of games with me now, and he says,
"Shout out to Dave!
Shout out to Dave the ref. We know Dave the ref.
Dave is. I know Dave since I'm a young kid.
All right,
he's amazing at what he does.
Yeah, awesome.
He's a great commentator.
Talk about bringing me up to professionalism. Yes. Yeah, he's
a different world.
He's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Where was I with Dave? What were we going to say?
I cut you
off. No, it's fine. Start doing a lot of games with Dave. What was that thing you were laughing about? Don't know.
No, but that's all right. We could. We'll get back to.
It'll end up coming back.
Yeah, but no, I was bringing up how it brought me back to being in high school and playing, and it did. It like put me back in those dog days of sweating my ass off, killing myself out there, going away to camp, which they don't do anymore. They do everything in house now.
No,
we used to go up to Nowheresville. And dude, I'm telling you, we had a goat one year on the goddamn fucking roof.
It was a different world back then.
Yeah, God rest my buddy Soul, who's not with us anymore. He came running out of the fucking building. There's a goat on the roof. And there was a fucking goat on the roof.
Us city boys aren't used to that kind of atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Nobody goes away anymore? No high schools?
No, there are,
right?
there's like a select number of schools that do go away. I won't say that it doesn't happen because I am confused over it. I'm like, why did you go away?
Yeah.
Right. But I know like Curtis doesn't, I don't think Tottenville does. Like they do like camps at the school.
Yeah, 3 a day, like 2 a days, 3 a day.
Parents cook.
Maybe, but sometimes they do like a split. Like they do a half camp and then they go away for a weekend or something like that. And I don't know if it just gonna sound stupid, but I really like to have a good time at my job, so I try not to know too much about it because I feel like the more you learn about it, the more you hate something.
Yeah.
So, I really liked cooking until I started cooking. It sucks. You know what I mean? Like, so I honestly, like when people ask me these questions, like kids don't go to camp. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have these answers. Like I'm really not the guy to ask for like what's going on with local sports. I'm like, you're not gonna believe this
because I don't
know anything about anything. Like, well, you ask like, what do I do for the games? Like, I'll do games with Dave, and Dave will come to the booth 20 minutes before the game, and he'll be like, "You ready? You ready?" I'm like, "I'll just be sitting there sweating," and he's like, "What do you need?" And I'll be like, "I don't have any rosters." And he'll be like, "Again?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like our big thing is like every game, no rosters, and then it's frustrating on my end because that's definitely something that I should handle. But I handle so much other shit leading up to the game that I'm just in straight panic mode for like 72 hours that I think like rosters should be taken care of. So then like I'll get
Tyler
there.
on this?
Tyler's a good person to get involved on the rosters. Absolutely.
Come on, Tyler.
We wouldn't think of that stuff.
Got to step up, Tyler.
And then we get the rosters and then like they're in non-numerical order. Because I know the players. I know the players, so I could just look at them and know that's what they think, right? Non-numerical order, and then like the last names won't be in like the last names will be first name first, last name last. As a broadcaster, you want last names first.
Yep.
Smith with the reception, not Sean with
Steve.
the catch. Sean looks really good on that play. Who the hell is Sean? So that's like kind of like what goes on leading up to it, like where I'm like, these rosters are atrocious, and then when the game starts, like it's just like shuffled papers madness. I'll be like, Dave, you have to tell people what's going on, and they'll be like, we got bad rosters. Dan is panicking. He doesn't know any kids on the field. I'm like, who's the quarterback? Like, and they're like, how does this guy get the job? He doesn't know who the quarterback is. I'm like, I'm not here to know who the quarterback is, dude.
No.
You just stick around 2 minutes. You'll see what we're doing here. You know,
I get it. I love it.
Like when you're like, what do you bring to a game? I'm like, man, I'm just happy to be there. I'm alive. You know, we got all our stuff to plug in. And you said like, you're trying to say like what works, what's a good thing to buy. I don't even know. I know that this is called the
Sure mic holder that broke. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
surely broke.
all I do is just say plug that into that. And they're like, what's that called? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I know it needs to go in there. You know, and like when something goes wrong, I'm like, is everything plugged in? So I used to be like, that's a stupid way of working, a 1980s way of working. I was getting drunk one night with my buddy, and I was having a problem with my technology, and he was smashed, and I wasn't. I was just trying to like have a beer to like
calm your nerves.
Yeah. And he was like, did you try turning it off and turning it back on? And he was so calm about it. I was like, buddy, I'm just, now's not a good time. Now is not a good time. And he was like, mm-hmm. So like a half hour later, I'm just losing my mind. He's like, I really think you should just shut it off and turn it back on. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Shut off, turn it back on. It fucking worked. And I was so upset. Like that worked. And he was like, dude, come on. You gotta hire me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like falling out of his chair. I was like, it's ridiculous that simple solutions still work to this day. Like you're too close. Take a step back. Like you're freaking out. You don't have rosters. Chill out, bro.
Let it be. Yeah. It'll work itself out.
You'll get them. Yeah. Like you'll figure it out. Like the people that go to work and make a big deal out of nothing are people that make your day more difficult than it needs to be. Right.
Wait, listen, in this too, I'll give a shout out to our producer, Wendy. Jazzy, we call her. Jazzy. So
super cool.
Jazzy did the same thing to me too. More than a handful of times.
Yeah.
Where some freaking out, trying to edit, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking break this fucking machine.
Editing is the devil's asshole. It's the worst thing in the world, bro.
It's worse. Just so everybody knows, it is the worst.
Navigating the devil's asshole. What are you doing? Navigating the devil's ass today. What are you doing?
So she'll tell me, shut the fucking thing off and turn it back on. And it works. So I have to give her a shout out for that because many, many times.
Shout out to Jazzy who knows the tricks of the trade. That's where we're at.
She's just not like us where we're stressing over something. And it is. It's very stressful.
You start thinking, is it something me as a man that I can't do? You saying I'm less of a man? You're having like a Rocky moment?
Yeah.
It's like, just shut it off, you idiot.
Yep. And it works. And it works out.
So like that happens where like I'm live and I'm like, can I shut off my entire system and turn it back on?
Back.
Will it work? And like that 30 seconds that everything reboots, like you want to see like a stable human being, you won't find one here.
Nothing pisses me off worse than somebody telling me to shut off and turn on, then it works.
I wanted to like murder my buddy. I'm like, that's not a good time right now. Don't start with that shit. He's like, just turn it off.
No, and it happens. That's the technology, and that we're we're not even old.
Well, look at us though. We're just fucking around. Turn it off, turn it back on, says Jazzy. Titans of the industry the next day. People are like, hey, you got to go on that guy's podcast. Hey, I like your network. I'm like, come on, this is crazy, guys.
There's something,
but it goes to show you that the way that we grew up turn on the TV, get your news, get your sports. Go to the newspaper, get your news, get your sports. That doesn't exist anymore. People know if they want their sports, they're coming and nobody cares.
Yeah, and that's what we love.
It because it's not biased. I'm trying to be that, Gus Johnson, like right in the middle. Want to be entertaining like Bob Uecker. No religion, no politics. It's just to say, what does that mean? It just means I'm not going to get into it on the air. Like that's all it means. Like I can't prevent it. Yeah, I can't prevent something from taking place on the field as a political statement. People have that right in this country all the time. You're not going to find a reaction to it.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with it or not, that's not the platform. And if you're looking for a reaction from me from something like that, you won't find it. Yeah. Just keep it moving, right? So I think once you sort of filter out all the bullshit and you just get down to like, you mean just sports? Yeah. Just sports that mean nothing.
This is us.
It's like, I'm in, right? So once we get the T-shirts going, we'll be real popular.
Yeah. Take that top one.
What's your dream job? Games to call. Like, what would you be your ultimate?
Yeah. So Tyler Lee, shout out to Tyler Lee, Ryan Henderson at Moore Catholic High School. This is Nobody Cares of the Future. They asked me this question recently. They were like, Mr. Chanod, I don't like that at all. But Danny, what's your, if you could call one game or one event a year and be done, what are you calling? The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. Horse racing guy.
And they were like, what? How are you not like World Series? How are you not in the Super Bowl? I was like, bro, do you know what the Kentucky Derby's called? Most exciting 2 minutes in all of sports. Bro, 2 minutes of work?
Right up your alley.
Are you kidding me? I could knock that out of the park.
2 minutes of sweating, that's nothing. You
can sweating profusely. You never see the guy on camera. You just hear him. That's all me.
So maybe there's a future there. Maybe Monmouth. We get you on at Monmouth Racetrack.
I don't know.
Calling a race
again.
But you got to study for that, Dan.
Yeah. No, and here's how I study. Do we have a deck of cards in this in the place? Do you have a deck of cards down here?
Not down
Let's
here.
say you had a deck of cards. All right, so
I know where this is going. I like it. I like it.
Me and my friends that again don't support the network, right? Don't watch anything.
We get
We're
it.
just
we get
friends.
the same.
We just like to kick it. And one night we were drinking, and again, these guys can gamble on anything. And we were doing the FanDuel sports racing, horse racing, like where you can bet on any horse in the world. And I was just losing. I was just taking a beating. But like I don't gamble a lot. Like grandma taught me like $1 to win on this horse, $2. Like we're just having fun. But I lost like $12 in a row, and I was like, this kind of isn't fun at all.
Break out the neck.
Let's get the action going a little bit more direct around here, right? So like when I was in college, we used to play horse races. And horse races in college was when you're in college and you play card games, you play to get drunk because you don't have any money and you're going out for the night, right? So you're looking at a pregame. When you're an adult and you play card games, you play for money because you have some money and you want to take your friend's money. It's just the way it goes. Like it's the evolution of cards. So in college, we played horse racing. Horse racing was a game that would just help us finish the handle quicker, right? Like 4 or 5 guys on a handle at Captain Morgan have to finish the handle before you go out. Terrible, terrible habits.
All right. Pre-game?
Horrible. Looking back, it was like, what the fuck?
Believe me.
Right? So, but that actually wasn't supposed to be in the story. That was how I was remembering it. So I apologize there.
You're good.
So we have to drink the handle. And like when you get through the first half of it, pretty easy, just hanging out, and then it's like, all right, we got to go to the bar soon. Like, we got to kick this handle. We got to escalate it. So, horse racing was if there's 4 guys, you pick a suit, and that's your horse, right? Diamonds, clubs, hearts, spades. You would have to have 2 of every suit. Take 1 from every suit, lay it out. You have 4 cards. Take 1 from every suit again, 4 cards, and those are going to be your furloughs, right? Your furlong going down. So then your horses will start here. Cards are going down the side. They got to get past card number 8 to be the horse that wins the race.
So only 8 furlongs.
Yeah. And it has to be set that way because then the odds change based on the deck. So if you wanted to do more than 8, it turns into like you need to add another deck, right? And then it would have to be like
you're going to run out of cards.
Yeah, so everybody has to have the same odds that it could be potentially pulled in the deck.
Okay.
So I showed this game to the older guys that told me to turn it off and turn it back on, right? And they're like, come on, we got to go out to the bar or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm losing my money. I was like, I got to get some money back from you guys. We're going to play horse racing right here. They're like, what's that? I was like, let me show you. So I show them the game. I'm like, everybody pick. And then I was like, it was loud in the bar. You know, the guys couldn't really hear me. I was like, hold on, I'll be right back. So I went in the closet and I pulled out a amp and a microphone. I was like, all right, can you hear me? They're like, yeah. I was like, all right, we're going to do the stupid horse racing voice. Like, all right, welcome everybody to blah, blah, blah. Like, everybody was like, all right, we got action. So I was like, I'll be spades and you'll be diamonds, you'll be hearts, you'll be clubs. And then set up like inside rail 1, 2, 3, and 4 is outside rail. First card comes up, it's 2 of hearts.
The
Hearts moves up 1.
Yep.
And they're off. Next card comes up, and it's ace running on the inside rail. And now it's like, wait a second, we got action over here. Now, because all the odds are stacked evenly, even if it's the spades that gets out to an early lead, mathematically speaking, the odds are going to change, and those other horses are going to come out of the gate. There is going to be a horse with a late run that's going to make it interesting. Every race ends in a near photo finish. Yeah. So, like, I call these off camera. I call these races with my friends, or it's like, and they're off, and we are blind drunk. And then, like, so you can only gamble on. And this is to answer your question of what sport would I do for a minute. It would be horse racing, and this is how I'm learning to do horse racing. So if you have 4 stables, well, you can only own that horse, right? Now you can only bet for that horse. So say we keep it simple to start. It's $1 to own a horse, okay? And it's $1 per race. Now say Jazzy's watching. Jazzy wants action. She don't own a horse. So now we're going to get a side pot going. Who wants to bet the $1 side pot? Jazzy's like, I don't like that action. Make it a $2 side pot. Who wants to bet the $2 side pot? She's like, I think Hearts is going to win. Anybody say it's going to be another horse? Let's say I think Spades is going to win. So now Hearts and Spades are going to go up in a side pot, 2-on-2. Let's say one of the other 2 horses win. We're going to roll over that side pot to the next race. So now we have side pot action that we have to keep track of, right, as on top of this action. Then what happens is Chinese bookies horse, for some reason, always shits the bed.
Never gets out of the stable.
He is like 0 for his last 14 in the horse races. It's crazy. Everybody's got the same odds, but he can't win. So then he'll be like, somebody trade horses with me. Like, bookie, it's all the same odds. Trade stable. So I'm like, all right, somebody trade stables with the bookie. You know how he gets. Your sugar's low, right? So I'm like, we're like, what do you want, buddy? And it's all the same odds. We're like, which horse makes you happy? He's like, give me diamonds. And you give him diamonds, and then he loses the next 6 races. He's like,
oh, shit.
And like, at the end of the day, you're only winning like $8, but it's the most fun you've ever had. Or I'm like, this is better than my FanDuel app. So, like, if we could get a deck of cards and 4 people, we can, like, I'll entertain the shit out of you with horse races. That, to me, if we could do a YouTube channel of those horse races.
Let's do it.
I'll do that. And if you told me, Danny, you can make money and you could just call these fake card games, like, I would do that. And I'm telling you, like, you would have millions of views overnight because these alcoholics, okay? And then we could set up this table anywhere. For the record, you know,
100%.
Country clubs, whatever, people will get in on the action. And because the odds are the same, Jazzy, there will be 2 or 3 horses. Down the stretch, they come, right? And when they get towards the end down there, like, you can't say down the stretch they come because people are screaming, come on, Diamonds! And you got to be like, down the stretch they come. And people are waving money. And then you get close and there's no horses. It's just degenerates. I was like, yo, 2 minutes, the greatest 2 minutes in all of sports, right? Wife wears a fancy hat, you get paid, everybody's happy.
Yeah, I love it because I'm a sports guy. I'm a horse racing guy. I fucking love
It's
it.
like, why did you not do that job?
Wait, listen, we gotta talk about that.
We're gonna follow
we may
up
have to
on
try
that.
that.
I think we have a spot for him May 3rd this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we have a spot.
We're gonna have to, you know, I would be happy to MC my horse racing event.
Well, I think we're going to talk about that after this.
Oh, that's fine.
But
That's
I think we're going to move ahead with that. I think we could have fun with that.
I'll show you the video from last time Chinese Bookie filmed. When you see Bookie losing his shit and losing, you're going to be like, we need this. We need red ropes. Like this. I want it to be like blood sport. Big like event. You walk into like, what Big is event. This?
And it's just for cars.
It's like European flags everywhere. I'm like, what?
We got something here. Chris, Flip, we got something.
We have something. No, he's not going to be happy, but we got something.
Because he's a horse
He's
guy.
not listening. He's not listening.
He's going to be listening.
Don't worry, nobody's.
He was supposed to come here. He didn't show up.
Surprise, surprise.
So what's next for Nobody Cares Sports?
Well, horse racing.
Horse racing is big. Well, we're moving into Jersey. Like I said, like we did a lot of hockey and lacrosse last year. We're moving into adult recreational sports.
Really? Dodgeball and shit?
Oh,
Pickleball.
I was going to say pickleball.
Whatever you guys want. Again, I'm not having fun. I'm just pretending that I'm having fun, right? So whatever you want to do, we can do.
I would love to see that with pickleball.
I think pickleball will be tits.
Some 70-year-old woman hitting a 19-year-old kid in the
That's what I want. I want mixed age group pickleball.
I think the older people are better right
because
now.
I want to see someone struggle against a woman that's not struggling, and she's like,
and
old.
catch one in the face.
Oh.
Like, so that's possible. I mean, a lot of it is like we're doing events that already exist. Like we want to cover your event that already exists. We want to show it love. We get asked a lot. Like October is a big month for breast cancer awareness, so we get a lot of events. Like, hey, can you broadcast the game? Yes, of course we can. There's a new show coming out. Nobody Cares Live. Runs every week the rest of my life until I get bought out by NBC. And,
what is that? Explain that, because I had seen that you posted something about
that. Nobody Cares Live. Again, for me, I think it's just another opportunity to sell advertising, because where I'm at is when I started the company a couple of years ago, I was like, all right, what are you doing? Like 12 games a year? You know, like 30 games a year? Like how much could that cost? Not much, but we're on track to broadcast 150 individual games this year.
That's fucking awesome, bro.
Right? So it's
God bless you, man. That's great.
$1,500 on retail per broadcast.
Awesome.
The average sponsor pays $300 a month, so we need about 4 million sponsors of pizza shops to cover that, right? So
good old dream.
It turns into local mom and pops aren't going to be able to, keep this ship answering the bell, so to speak, right? It's going to turn into we're shifting our sales a bit, bringing on bigger sponsors that will allow us to bring those mom and pops to their level. So we're looking for sporting goods stores, insurance companies, whoever the hell is buying Super Bowl airtime, they can afford $5 or $10,000 with us. It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a little piece of the pie.
And because we're serving the community for free and things of that nature, we feel like it's nothing to say, hey, we're broadcasting here in Homedale. Let's reach out to 15 local businesses to get them on. But those local businesses shouldn't be the ones that are helping you grow. You're supposed to help them and say, hey, we got a great opportunity to give you some good free advertising, or for a drop in a bucket, we can help you out kind of deal. So that's kind of like how we're operating, to say, I could scale back and say I have 25 sponsors and I'm just going to do 50 games and no stress.
Yeah.
And that's it. But what happens is there's a demand for your product. So you have a choice to either, expand or say, I'll just be a niche market, right? Well, I look at it like, the more research I do, I can't seem to find another company exactly like mine with the same model. And it's driving me nuts, because I'm like, you mean to tell me I'm unique in this endeavor? Like who else is doing for free and sponsored by this and doing that? And like nobody. It's either for-profit, not-for-profit entities. It's either a big scale network, or it's either live streaming, this and that. I'm like, you're trying to tell me there's nobody else that can say, hey, buddy, you did this. What do I do? And that doesn't exist. So it's like, what do you want to do that makes you happy? Well, I want to make other people happy, and I want to avoid the bullshit. So pickleball sounds good. Flag football doesn't sound good. I'm totally against the Olympic. Like, that doesn't sound good. If you're like, Danny, we get you a job doing the Olympics, flag football, like, I'm out. No thanks.
What about Olympics breakdancing?
There isn't enough pot on planet Earth that would help me like lock in and be like, sick move. That would be all I have is I panic.
And he's spinning on his head.
Sick. That was sick. Danny, your mic's not on.
That's awesome.
You're just panicking. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it really turns into like, I think it's awesome when people say, hey, you know, there's this big game. It's been going on for 60 years. It needs coverage. Would you be interested in doing it? Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want the community to feel helped out. Like, hey, you know, this is a great thing that's gone by the wayside. We're bringing it back. You know, we love what you do. You want to come in? I want to say, yes, it's free. We're in, right? That's why I think we exist first and foremost. But then it does turn into, hey, nobody cares. We want you for this big event. And it turns into, well, how can we scale the company? How can we turn a profit? How can it remain free for them, free for you to watch, and, you know, expand the product to where, oh, they added instant replay. That's cool. Like that, It doesn't happen from however we're situated now, right? Like we've done a great job of making noise and putting ourselves in position to choose our route, which is the most valuable part. Like, we're not dictated by a pace. Like, we're setting the pace.
You're doing what you want still.
Yeah. So,
and you really don't want to go by somebody else's cause.
No,
like,
I mean,
what you want.
Look, here at Staten Island or New York City, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You're local. Okay. Yep. Local isn't where you're from, it's where you are. Yeah. So we say you got to support local wherever you are. In local, there's politics. I say no politics, no religion. That doesn't mean no Palestine, Israel, no Republican, Democrat. It means when you come up to me and say, hey, fuck that guy, I don't work with him anymore because of what he did at my cousin Jimmy Tony's wedding 3 years ago. That's got nothing to do with me. That's your bullshit politics. I got nothing to do with it. So that's not going to find a place here in our network. And then what happens is everybody's friends with each other in local anything.
Yes.
So it turns out I don't like that guy's coverage. Okay, in the past, you've been able to silence them because you make a phone call and the newspaper's like, oh, this is bad for business. Now you got a bunch of podcasters. You got a bunch of people that don't work for anybody else. And you're trying to say, like, hey, you can't talk that way. Yeah. I was like, what are you, nuts, dude? I'm going to go off on you. But for me, you know, I don't even show energy towards the people that will give us negativity.
It's not worth it.
So we just say, like, hey, man, life is short. We woke up today. You know what I mean? We want to have fun, and we're going to keep having fun. And for anybody that is against it, you know damn well, the more that you keep that attitude, the more that they'll stay against it. You know what I mean? They want the reaction, and you won't give it to them.
And you need that. The business is that. Like the reaction, the stuff like you say, you're staying up on the feed, and you writing back. It's what you need and what you want.
Yeah, for sure. You just have to play your game, and other people are going to get you to try and switch up, and you're like, well, you know, I'll just keep doing what we're doing. It seems like we're doing something right, so let's just keep doing this.
Got the following. Yeah.
Well, I was telling him before the podcast today, we were talking, and I said, it's funny, like, people will say hurtful, mean shit in comments, right? Yeah. And I go, I don't respond. It's not, you know, anything 100%. Is better than that, right?
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is the people that are loyal to you, the people that get enjoyment out of you, when you get somebody in that chat talking shit, the people that appreciate you, you don't have to speak.
I don't even have to say anything.
They're going to fucking speak for you.
Where I'm at,
The minute somebody says something stupid to a comment on a video that we posted, I don't have to say anything to defend anybody.
You used to have to delete or this.
I don't
now
do
it's
anything.
Like, people go after them for you.
I let the people that are fans of us, true fans, will tell the guy, dude, shut up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You know, and that's what happens when, A, you're a good person, and B, you have a good product.
Yeah.
So people stand up for you.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I like that guy. He does good work, and he did good work on my home. So, yeah, if someone talks shit about him, I'm going to stand up for him. You know what I mean? It's just, and that didn't happen because you were like, hey, can you say something nice about me?
Yeah,
you know, it's like, no, you had to earn that. And now that you earned it, the streets kind of got your back, right? So, I mean, like, there's people out there that'll be like, hey, you know, we're going to go after your sponsors. How you like that? And, like, the sponsors are like, let them take it. We'll get 3 more just like them. You know what I mean? Exactly, like, it's at the end of the day, whoever's trying to take the win from your sales. A buddy of mine, Scott Sotero, works for Uecker Realty, right?
Yeah, I just watched you on a podcast with
Scott.
Scott.
He's down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I grew up with him. I went to school with him growing
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
smart, savvy businessman, entrepreneur, right? And he told me, he was like, look, blowing out your birthday candles aren't going to make mine shine brighter. And he was like, if you learn that mentality, you'll be just fine. And you'll see that other people are going to try and blow out your candles, and you'll see that their candles stay the same. Don't worry about it. Just keep it moving. And I was like, you know what? It's a really simple way of saying it, but it's
the
real.
attitude you have to have.
Yeah.
Because there's, like you said, how many podcasts are out there? How many guys are there, or girls, whatever, that are trying to start something up and take over? Oh, well, Dan's doing this. Let's go compete against them. Right. Listen, competition's always good.
Always. Makes you better.
If you're going to go after the back end, like you say, and start talking to, who's contributing to me and who's... Don't try to stab me in the back. Right. We could all have a piece of the pie.
Oh, you kidding me? Like,
I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah, we always talk about it. Like, how many games are there in local sports? Like I said, there's no seasons. Every day there is a place to go and offer
something
coverage.
To do.
There's no reason to ever say, "Hey, I want that game," because if you called me and said, "Hey, I want that game," I'd say, "Hey, you can have it."
Have fun.
What I don't want is to go to work and someone says, "Hey, somebody called and said they wanted the job." I'm like, "Well, they should have called me. They could have had the job." You know what I mean? That's not how business works. So I think at the end of the day, you just think, well, let's just navigate ourselves away from rocky waters. And once you do that, you're like, hey, kind of nice over here. That's all it is. Yeah. Exactly. And like when you have a good product, you get the guests, you get the people that stand up for you, that say, hey, we're on your side. So I think, listen, in business, imitation is the most serious form of flattery. Yep. There's always going to be people that want the juice. Juice is a great movie, by the way.
It is.
Tupac Shakur. Are you kidding me? These kids don't know.
We need a juice, too.
They want the juice is what it comes down to. And what's interesting here, my conundrum is I didn't want the juice, right? That's the caveat here. I actually didn't want it, and now I got it. So I always say, yeah, you're welcome to have a sip. Like, my booth isn't closed. You want to be a broadcaster, you be a broadcaster. I get requests every day, every week. Not every day, every week. Kids, adults, graduated from school, always wanted to get into it, looking to get into it, intern job. I'm like, send me a schedule, put you on a game. Like, what do you want me to say? You're going to intern with me? I'm going to go, send me your resume. I will put you on a game.
But
I have the Chinese bookie on my team.
But now, do you even
got replaced by 14-year-old Tyler, who's like the number 3 cameraman in New York City right now. He's a freshman at Curtis. So, I mean, success is earned. If that's what you want, come and get it. Yeah. If you want to work in local sports, let's work together. Like, that company out there was working with every high school in town. I didn't say, I'm going to call those high schools and take their jobs.
Let's work together.
I called the company and said, "You want to work together? I'm gonna access your audio." They were like, "Done." Now, if it was a gamble, sure, but after I did one game and they saw their numbers were up 3 times, they said, "You could plug in your audio anytime."
Awesome.
So it's you have to bet on yourself. I'm not telling kids to go out there and lie and say, "Yeah, I'm doing this job. I got this job." Sure, if you fooled them that you got the job, now do that job better than it's ever been done, so they'll never feel they've been fooled. And that's where we are. Like, this is a Mel Brooks Producers. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's funny.
And people love it.
And it's like, my God, none of this was supposed to happen. So then now that it's happening, I don't want to do Nobody Cares the rest of my life. I think there's an exit strategy here. I think there's a buyout eventually. But until that happens, brother, we're gonna have fun. Like, let's keep it moving.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I got one question I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Want me to ask that now?
Yeah.
All right. So, since you're around Staten Island sports,
we're
going to do a blind ranking.
Oh, boy.
All right. So, we'll blind rank the top 10 athletic programs on Staten Island. The order I'm giving you is just random. You're going to put them 1 through 10. 1 is being the top.
That's fucked.
And 10 being the worst. St. Peter's.
Where do they go?
This is all sports, their athletic program. who do you feel?
The entirety
Football,
of
basketball,
basketball, baseball,
everything.
whatever you have done with
What
these
you've been
schools.
around with these schools and you've seen how they
Jazzy,
run.
do you have a brown bag that I could breathe in? We've been having fun. We've been having a good time.
Nah,
Let's
it's all
stop having
fun.
some fun.
It's all for fun.
No, that's fine.
All right.
So
First-
wait, if you give me St. Peter's, what am I
You're
like,
ranking them 1 through 10.
But
And
what? All right.
We're going to fill the spots in.
I think you should tell him all of them.
Son of a bitch
No,
bastard.
No, you can't.
No.
Can't.
Well,
No.
hold on. Are we doing all of the high schools, or we're just doing a select few of them?
I'm
We're doing them all.
I'm doing pretty much
I
all
think
of them.
there's 10. This is what
Okay.
I've been off Staten Island for.
Yeah, no, that's
I
fine.
think I
And
came up
nobody
with 10.
nobody cares anyway.
You tell us how
Yeah.
many teams are there in Staten Island?
I think there's 11 high schools, but 10 this year because Moore doesn't have football.
Football,
team.
but they have other
See?
sports.
So Petrides is a high school that you might
Yeah.
not have.
No, it's
We
on
do.
there.
You got it.
It's on there, pal.
Well, at
This
the end,
isn't just about football. This
Right,
is about
this is
entirety.
everything. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, what is the question here? Like, overall, like,
Athletic
culture,
program.
athletic.
1 through 10. Blind ranking.
10. All right, copy. Let me see.
yes. McKee Tech.
Am I putting it in?
Yeah, you can put
Yeah, it's either
That was the
Petrides or
one.
McKee Tech
They
is the
always
one.
forgotten
Yeah,
about because
yeah.
they're building birdhouses. In the
Shout
bottom
out
of
to
McKee.
Chris App though, doing big thing. He designed the Nobody Cares play in the Fugazi Bowl last year. He was like, "We're gonna run a play. It's gonna be called Nobody Cares. Everybody's gonna hate it." I was like,
Coach App.
Shout out to Coach App.
Coach App.
All right, I would put
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's.
yeah, but put him at 3.
3.
Okay.
Now remember, now this is 1 through 11. Okay, because we added McKee. Farrell.
Oh, fuck, I'm so bad at my job. I forgot. About it. Two.
C.
You want the deck of cards?
I'm almost I'm like undiagnosed dumb. I'll just say that. Not any specific part of that. C. So I have Peters at 3,
Yeah, Peters at 3, Farrell at 2.
a C at 4.
More. You got 1 through 11. Remember that.
Yeah. So
This isn't that hard. But you're trying to, I see you. You're trying to cover your tracks. I get it.
you don't understand.
We're not taking this. Don't take this to any offense.
We
Yeah,
don't
no,
want-
no,
we
no,
don't
no,
want to
no, no,
jeopardize
no.
anything.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm fired anyway. Don't worry about it.
Nobody cares.
More? What is the number that I saw?
So far, you have 3, 2, and 4.
I'll do 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Curtis.
We know where Curtis is.
Your
going.
alma mater,
I
pal.
have to put them up at 1.
Okay.
We figured that.
Yeah.
Port.
Who's 7?
7 is
It's
more.
More.
7's such a good answer for everybody.
You only get one.
More. What?
No, you're at
Port Richmond.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I'll put them
Somebody has
behind
to be 11.
more.
Behind
I'll
more?
put Port Richmond behind more.
Eight.
Yeah.
Tottenville. Oof, this totally blew you out. Your top numbers are gone already.
Thank God. If this was a live show, I
1
would.
through,
it'd
1
be a-
through 5 is gone.
Yeah. So then that's got to be the next highest open slot.
6.
No,
No, you got 5 left.
Oh, 5.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, I'll do that in 5.
Wagner.
Yeah. Who lives there is my question. I don't even know. All right.
Easy.
We have 7 already.
7's already gone.
8's already gone.
You have 6.
You have 6.
I have 6, but who's left?
Right now, you have. I can't tell you. Who's
You can't
left.
tell me who's left.
No.
Come on,
And that-
you know
that's
these
how bad I
schools.
am in my job.
You know these
Yeah.
schools. You mentioned 1 already. We mentioned 2 already, and 3rd.
Wagner's got a great basketball. I got to put him up in the highest spot that there is.
6.
So okay, I'm good with that.
Petrides.
11.
All right.
Okay. Newdorf.
10.
You got 10 and 9 left.
10 and 9 left.
I'm gonna go with 10.
McKee.
McKee is 9.
9.
Very valid.
I'm very valid with that list. It took a lot to get there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not easy either because
No.
you're, like you say, you're.
No, yeah, but that's really and I do my best to not be biased, but that was like truly a hot seat hot take.
Yeah, they put you on the spot on that one.
In this world of you can go to school anywhere, this shit don't matter.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It would have been great hyperbole when you had to go to one of those schools. And then you're like, what do you rank this? And it's like, all doesn't really matter. Now it's like, they're all kind of the same, or vying to be the same.
Yeah.
You know, so it turns into the culture and all these things that really can't even be
being close to home.
Like, how do you put that on a graph? You know what I mean? How do you say that this is a point?
Yeah. Pretty accurate.
Yes, I mean, like, for me, I was like, yeah, it's like a bit of a homey way to say, like, yeah, Curtis on top and all that, but it gets a little. Well, when we were growing up, it was Farrell High School, High School, and that's it for athletics on Staten Island. They were really top dogs.
Well, they didn't have football.
You know, they didn't have football, and their other programs would develop baseball. You know, they played their home games at Clove Lakes Park. You know, looking for a place to play and all that stuff. So it was like all their other sports took some time to develop. It was always Farrell, and now it's just, you look at what 20 years does, 25 years. I don't even know. It's everybody's kind of meeting more towards the middle.
Yeah.
Right. Kids are transferring from one school to the next like it's nothing. In our day, if you transferred from Farrell to wherever, it was like, oh my God, bro. Like, you know, now it's just another thing.
It's normal.
Yeah, I think like it's rankings is so tough because look like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Like, one year you can have such great rankings and teams and players, and kids aren't even like aging out. They're just straight leaving your school and going to another school. Yeah. It's like, what a kick in the nuts. Like, I thought I was a good coach and I just lost this kid for no reason, you know? So
politics.
It's
like you say.
You get dads and then parents and people live vicariously through the kids, and they put a lot of unfair pressure on the kids. You know, that's why you say it's nobody cares. Like, look, why do I call a game? I don't have any video of me and my friends playing when we were kids. I have a terrible memory. I don't remember like yesterday. Like, I have like a very bad
we're getting old,
doctor diagnosed memory where they're like, you're not gonna remember anything. And I was like, that's unfortunate. So I definitely don't really remember like my childhood much at all. Like, it's just really not there. But if I had video, it would be really nice to be like, oh, these are my boys. Look at us playing. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the kids aren't all right who grew up and went to jail and who's dead and all this, you know what I mean? But it's like you have this video of you and your friends. So I look at it like, man, that's what we do. We capture moments in time that they'll be able to go back and look in on. Now, that's the big picture. The other short picture is I don't care how many people are watching a game, and that's why so many people tune in. I'm there for the guy. Like, look, I have 5 nieces. I only really see them on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And if I'm lucky, they'll come to town another couple of times in a year. But, you know, Christmas, they stay on wherever they are, right? So I look at it like I love them very much, but I never get an opportunity to see them do their things and their activities. So if Flip sent me a text and was like, you could watch Katie play in this game. Here's a live stream. It's free. I'm going to open it.
You're tuning in.
I'm going to watch my niece play no matter what.
Yeah.
So I look at it like we're serving those people that, you know, want to watch the family, the grandparents that you see your grandchildren every year for the 5 major holidays, but you still never saw them actually bat.
Yeah.
Well, now you can in real time, and you could type in the chat, Grandma's watching from Florida, and we shout you out, Grandma's watching in Florida. And she's like, yeah, like that's why we do it.
And that's the beauty of it.
You know, that's the true beauty of it. All the other pomp and circumstance of this, that, it's like,
it's not worth it.
You're focusing on all the wrong details. Grandma's doing that. Nobody else cares. Like, it's just, it's fun. And as we grow, like, we're going to build stages. We'll be like College Game Day comes to town. Like, we could strap Bookie in a cannon, put him on a helmet, and fire him out into a net. Nobody is stopping us from doing anything. We just need a little bit of capital to have a lot of fun. And we're close to that. And I think that's what worries some of the bigger competitors. And it worries some of the people that sit in a basement and say they want to be us. You know, we are
one of a kind.
One of a kind. You guys are one of a kind.
So real quick, before we head out, how do people contribute to you guys? Who do they reach out to? Give them all your stuff, and
basically, I think if you type "Nobody Cares Sports Network," you're gonna find us. we're free to watch, free to view. You can find us on the internet machine. With this new show that's coming out, it's a weekly show. So we're going to have a Patreon set up. You don't have to be a business or an LLC to be sponsored. You can say, hey, I like what you do. I want to send you $5 a month. It'll help us get out there in the community even more.
Everything helps, man.
Everything helps, right?
Bit.
It's just kind of like a slow grind. Like, how can you help? Don't worry about helping me. If you want to help local sports, tune in, watch the games, join the comments section, tell us where you're tuning in from. We'll shout out whoever's on the field, and just keep the good vibes going. Nobody cares.
That's awesome. No, and check them out. Like you said, Nobody Cares Sports Network.
That's right.
We want to thank you, Dan, for coming through.
Yeah, it was cool. It wasn't bad until the end there. I got a little.
No, you're good.
You sweated a little bit on that last.
Yeah, it was like
we saw the sweat.
Yeah, it's tough.
A couple little beads. It's all right.
You're like, you're sweating. I was like, yeah, well.
This is not.
So I think about all the athletic directors texting me all at once.
Nah, you're good. It's all about love. It's just something.
No, yeah, it is.
We're bringing that to, because you know what? It's just like what you do, right? You need a new part of it. And that's something that we're putting in now. I had our buddy come in last week. He's from the military. And it was like that kind of thing. Like, give us 5 of the top of this. And it's just something we're trying to add into the podcast because you got to change shit
Honestly, you could take that list to the bank. I think it's solid.
I think it's solid, too. I like it.
All right. We'll put it on nobodycares.
It's really good.
.com.
Yeah. I'm happy I burned the sweat out. I got all my good thoughts. Woo! Guys,
we appreciate you coming through.
That's all right.
And we thank Flip for setting this up
all right,
once
but
again.
this can't be over. You guys got to come on a game.
100%.
Right.
We're going to set something up.
We got so many games. You pick what you want to do.
All right, cool.
I sweat all the time.
No,
I'm
going to be the one that's sweating.
I'm going to have a blast.
You're fine.
I'm in.
Yeah, and that's easy. Well, listen, you can choose what kind of game you want. Hockey games are super cold, so you might not sweat less. I still sweat.
I sweat no matter what.
Yeah, me too.
Well, real quick, I'm going to have to probably bring at least one of my kids to sit with me.
That's fine.
No, only because I don't curse in front of my kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want to curse on the network.
Oh, yeah, definitely bring the whole family then. I
don't need the priest running out.
I don't care, but I would love to keep the sponsors we have. They're very lovely people. Yeah. No, you're welcome to come out. We'll do the horse racing thing. And, like just a beginning of a beautiful thing. It's nice to be in touch. That's all.
Thank you, man.
No,
appreciate
Dan,
you
I
guys.
appreciate
it.
it.
You guys
Thank you so much, brother.
Like I always say, be nice to people. You never know what somebody's going through.
Always.
Peace out, man. Thank you.
Peace,
Thanks,
everybody.
What's up? Yeah. Get a load of this.